I cannot imagine anyone thinking TikTok is worth fighting for. It's straight up garbage. It's not about whether or not TikTok is garbage. It's the fact that the reason the law, which is very unconstitutional, mandates it being sold off is because its existence and it not being owned by an American, or at least a non-Chinese entity, is considered a threat to our national security, which is bullshit. Total lie. It is the weaponization of national security concerns to crush a massive social media company or place it under American control. You know, it doesn't really have anything to do with the quality of the app. I've been fighting for it, folks. I had such a bad headache yesterday. I woke up at 4:30 this morning with a headache. Cripplingly bad. It's always a tension headache, not a migraine, by the way. So you can alleviate a tension headache by, you know, sitting in the right way or whatever. Like, there are ways of dealing with it. But I was having a sensory nightmare when I woke up. TMI for the week, I suppose. But I woke up at 4:30 to a splitting headache. And my sheets on my bed have pilled because I've just been lazy about replacing them. I got nice sheets, I don't know, Visco some years ago. And they've been pilling a little bit. So on parts of them, they are uncomfortable. And I woke up at 4:30 with a headache, and I roll around in agony, and my morning wood grinds into like the most pilled spot of the sheets, which feels a little bit like rubbing my dick against sandpaper. And the combined sensory experience of that and the headache was um sublime in the worst way, you know? Like kind of like I don't know, being buried in an avalanche, I guess. Like it was something else. Where's the story going? That's it. We're done. We made it there. Bro, just wear underwear? No. Sleeping without underwear. I'm not having this argument, okay? You guys lost a long time ago. More and more people every year sleep naked. I don't need to fight for my position. You need to fight to defend yours. Only 32% of adults support the ban on TikTok. Wow, look at how much that's gone down since the initial proposition, from 50% support to all the way down to 32%. That's wild. They're not enforcing it though. The Supreme Court upheld the ban. They might be enforcing it. It is extremely pathetic how the ban was initially pushed by Republicans, and then Democrats, because they're worthless and agree with Republicans on a lot, ended up supporting it, and now Trump is positioning himself to save it, even though he was the one whose party propositioned the ban to begin with. It's genuinely insane. Like, it's once again, it's political strategy so bad that you just have to assume the Democrats are maliciously incompetent. This is also totally just because American companies want the TikTok marketing data right. I mean, that's part of it. For the most part, it's just about like national interests and control over media. Every other major social media company is owned by a Western entity that our government is capable of controlling and exerting pressure on. TikTok isn't, so. Every fuck up makes me believe more and more they're just controlled opposition. Yeah, at the very least, like, they don't disagree on much. It's pretty bad. Do you think Red Note is a genuine national security risk? No. It is not a national security risk for people to be on social media sites owned by Chinese agents or Chinese companies or CCP affiliated people or whatever. It's just not. Do they think China won't just release another app almost exactly like TikTok? They won't. It's not how this works. Republicans remain more likely to back this than Democrats. Yeah, that makes sense. So no TikTok as of tomorrow? That's the idea. TikTok users are far more likely to oppose than support a ban. Really? Those who don't use TikTok are about as likely to support a ban as to be uncertain, while 15% are opposed. Huh, for those who don't use TikTok, only 15% of Americans are opposed to the ban. That's crazy. This might help with people's attention span. Nah, there's no turning back the clock. Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, AI, it's all over. We're not getting the attention span back. Never use TikTok. I think this ban is stupid. This ban isn't stupid. It's terrifying. It's literally like an unprecedented power grab by the government and its military contractors to secure control of the media by ensuring that they have the ability to exert pressure on the owners of said media. Doesn't this ban cover a litany of other companies than just TikTok? It's on TikTok. I mean, the ban could be applied to a bunch of other companies. Keep in mind, by the way, that like the designation of what constitutes a national security risk in the context of this of the legislation that was passed is incredibly nebulous. Like there is not a clear, consistent, coherent standard, you know? It targets ByteDance now, but the precedent is set to like give them free reign to do this more in the future. Can they do this with any other app? Is this why all the tech giants are cozying up? The tech giants are cozying up because they're all on the same team. The only one that wasn't was TikTok. Do you think Trump will actually try to save TikTok, or is he just blustering? I don't fucking know. I have no idea. I don't know. Who the fuck knows, man? Trump considering executive order to try to rescue TikTok from seller ban law. Again, like, masterful move. Democrats. Like, now you're, like, this was literally of the Republicans doing, and rather than Democrats crying, you know, free speech, they're trying to shut down TikTok because they don't want you to see the truth, Democrats just all agreed with Republicans on the TikTok ban because they both wanted to shut down pro-Palestinian content. Like, just insane. And so the ratchet clicks forward, yeah. The potential executive order would strive to allow TikTok's 170 million American users to continue to use the app for a certain period of time as the administration sorts out who could potentially buy it, CNN reported Wednesday. I mean, that would just... It comes down to whether or not ByteDance is going to sell it. And I don't think they are. I mean, maybe. The Supreme Court did uphold the law. The rumor they might sell to Musk was terrifying. Yeah, but that was from nowhere. ByteDance immediately countered it. Do you have any idea how expensive TikTok would be? Even just like American TikTok? TikTok is way larger than Twitter, you know. That's not an easy buy. Like Kevin O'Leary was saying he was going to buy it. What the fuck do you mean? What is Kevin O'Leary worth? Like a few billion? Like, we're talking an enormous amount of money for TikTok. So is Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast also does not have that kind of money. Girl with a guitar, that looks bad, but I'd really wait for, like, Pew Research poll on the subject, because I gotta say I really don't trust New York Times right now. Only 400 mil for O'Leary? I thought he was a billionaire. Oh, well. What a loser. This feels like a performance to me. I wonder if they're just going to end up indefinitely delaying this. TikTok preparing to shut down its app. Sunday, if the ban holds, here's what to know. I mean, can they afford enforcing it? It would basically just make a bunch of people angry. Trump would just blame the Democrats. I mean, who gives a shit, right? Like, literally, Trump could just go, and the Democrats, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, I fought against them both and I won. They say I won one presidency. I actually won two. I won against the two of them. They tried to ban TikTok and they won, folks. They're taking away your beautiful dancing memes. How are they actually going to enforce it? People already have the app. VPNs are a thing. It just blocks you from accessing the app from, like, an American internet source. You can get around it with VPNs, but, like, you're still running on an outdated version of the app, so you would then need to, like, crack your phone or download the app through other sources and then get around it with a VPN. The point is that, like, there wouldn't be much of a point anyway, because the content from the US would just stop. No one could make money or do any kind of, like, official work from the United States anymore on TikTok, so you would just be accessing other countries' TikTok feed. It would functionally mean the end of TikTok. If you really wanted to get around it, sure, but, like, 99% or more of US-based TikTok traffic would go away. Would he not permit the ban out of interest for Elon? I'm not sure what you mean. TikTok CEO plans to attend Trump inauguration. I mean, that makes sense. Every other billionaire is there. Will the government feel this economically? How would a TikTok ban affect the American economy? Not meaningfully. Incredible that Joe Biden signed this. Absolutely phenomenal. 5 booms for TikTok. Boom, 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 boom. Very good. Will this law be able to be used against Fox News if a future left-leaning administration wants to? No. I wonder if the reason why the TikTok CEO would be attending the inauguration and getting along with the Trump administration would be because Trump's actual plan is to get TikTok to officially blame the Democrats. Like, TikTok could say, due to a law, like a bill passed into law by Joe Biden, TikTok is no longer available in your country, and that, or some bullshit like that, you know? Rather than, like, actually fixing it, he just cements that the blame is placed on the Democrats. Which, honestly, fuck it, they deserve. Could they ban Red Note possibly? Probably not. Wouldn't be much of a point. Not enough Americans access Red Note for it to be like a meaningful source of circumventing, you know, the State Department narrative and what it wants you to see through the existing social media channels. Here's a speech.
To protect the everyone is shown here. As you know, we have been fighting to protect the constitutional right to free speech for the more than 170 million Americans.
Red Note is #1 in the App Store. Being #1 in the App Store is like being #1 on the New York Times bestseller list, in that it doesn't mean jack shit. It's like a proportional increase in downloads relative to expected averages. It doesn't mean like that is the most downloaded thing. It's a way of observing trends, not a way of determining like overall like empirical popularity, you know? Yeah, the Red Note thing is a fad. It's not going to last long. Also, isn't China already trying to wall off Americans in Red Note? Because, again, China maintains a great firewall and doesn't want Chinese citizens interacting frequently with Americans. Like, why? Like, if anything, China would be the one to wall that off. Like,
we use our platform every day to connect, create, discover, and achieve their dreams. On behalf of everyone at TikTok and all our users across the country, I want to thank President Trump for his commitment to work with us to find a solution that keeps TikTok available in the United States. This is a strong stand for the First Amendment and against arbitrary censorship. As we've said, TikTok is a place where people can create communities, discover new interests, and express themselves, including over 7 million American businesses who earn a living and gain new customers using our platform. We are grateful and pleased to have the support of a president who truly understands our platform, one who has used TikTok to...
Fuck, I think I might be right. I think that might actually be the game plan. It literally might just be like the deal on the way out with TikTok would just be making sure that TikTok's closure is done very explicitly in a way that blames the Democrats. Like that might actually be the game plan. It has nothing to do with saving TikTok, because ByteDance won't sell it, and ByteDance won't sell it because China won't let them. Why would China let ByteDance sell TikTok? Give up all that power to allow the Americans to further isolate themselves? Way better for the CCP to destabilize the United States politically by encouraging all of this division and infighting.
Express his own thoughts and perspectives, connecting with the world, and generating more than 60 billion views of his...
And the Dems fully fell for it? Well, it's not so much that they fell for it, they just did it. All, like, I 100% the main reason for the Dems doing this was to protect Israel. Like, it's not, like, maybe they fell for it, but, like, I don't know. They're just kind of in on it. I don't know.
Content in the process. To all American users, thank you for making our TikTok community such a rich and vibrant space, for surprising and delighting us every day. Rest assured, we will do everything in our power to ensure our platform thrives as your online home for limited...
But if the CCP wants to destabilize the U.S., laying the blame on the administration in power is more effective than blaming last season's villain? No. China and Russia love Trump being president. Absolutely. Trump is like a hardline isolationist who questions our allegiance to Ukraine, to Taiwan. China 100% wants Trump in office. Yeah. They want him to be super duper 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 popular. Because he can just play with like action figures over here in the United States and alienate all of our allies. Literally, the only thing Trump has done since his inauguration is antagonize our allies, military and economic. Like, all he does is go up to the podium and say, you know what would be great for America? What if we had no allies? What if we just insulted all of our allies all the time? It's great. China loves that shit. Like I said, like, I don't know, a few weeks ago, can you really blame, like, more and more of the world is going to turn to China as, like, the leader of the new century. And can you blame them? China's way the fuck more stable than the United States. They love this shit. Your first mistake is thinking China and Russia is the same. Trump is the one who started the trade war. The Trump trade war with China did basically nothing. Here's an interesting tidbit. Even though Trump shit talks China more the Chinese economy more than he does any other economy. Why is it that following his like the months leading up to his inauguration, the main targets of his tariffs were Mexico and Canada, two allies? Like, he's talked about tariffs to China. Why is it that 95% of his rhetoric has been directed at threatening literally our two closest, like proximity closest allies, threatening them with tariffs or with annexation or whatever else? Why has he laid off China? Like, he talks about China. He said he might add additional tariffs to China, but where's the actual weight and momentum going into? This shit rocks for China, man.
Creativity and discovery, as well as a source of inspiration and joy for years to come. Thank you. More to come.
Oh, that's good. Also, she needs wins. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be visiting Taiwan anytime in the next 4 years. At minimum. It's insane they did this to serve Israel. Well, not really Israel, but like the MIC, but yeah. Yeah, that's what I just implied, Bosch. Huh. Trump said he will most likely give TikTok 90-day extension to avoid ban. And they're going to cancel the Biden plans to make chips out of spite for our plan B for Taiwan's also fucked. Yeah, he's literally like walking back the CHIPS Act as well. So he's making us more economically dependent on Taiwan for their chips. And also like geopolitically opening the door for Chinese aggression in the region. He's just an agent of chaos. It's not chaos. It's literally just weakening the country. Like, if it was chaotic, he would sometimes do good things. It is literally just like, it's incompetent. No, it's not incompetence either. It's the plan, man. If I decide to do that, I'll probably announce it on Monday. He's going to announce it during his goddamn inauguration speech. How does rolling back the CHIPS Act benefit Trump? Is it literally just pettiness? That's part of it. I also think, and I hope you'll forgive me for being a little bit speculative with this, I think that the MIC, both in the West and I guess globally as well, kind of wants to maintain a permanent multipolar world because they got antsy after the Cold War. I think that, like, the Cold War established a precedent for nonstop militarization, the ramping up of nuclear capabilities. Every expense to the Pentagon was justified because there was always an enormous legitimate foreign threat. But since the Cold War ended, there haven't been enormous legitimate foreign threats. Like, China's been there, but we're not at war with them. Iraq, Afghanistan, they throw rocks at tanks, you know? I think that the actual, like, long-term justification for ramping up military production indefinitely would require a kind of like a... you'll pardon the reference, I hope, but it's kind of the Eurasia, East Asia, Oceania thing. Like, they literally do that in the damn book, and I'm sorry, guys, I know it's trite, but literally I think that's kind of what we're getting at here. It's the same reason why why the Republicans are so pro-Russia. Like, they want to maintain the paranoia and the fear that allows for the suppression of civil rights in the name of national security, the use of our enormous economic productivity in ways that enrich like a very small group of people, for wealth to be concentrated further and further in the hands of the, not even the 1%, but like the top 0.01 whatever percent. And this, it seems to be like the way to do it, you know? Yeah, the war is not meant to be won, but meant to be continuous. It kind of feels like the great like error in their planning was allowing the Soviet Union to collapse, because otherwise they could have kept that thing going indefinitely, you know? Maintaining managed conflict. Yeah, kinda. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting. Do you have any better explanation for like the Republicans objectively empowering our allies? Because it goes, or sorry, our enemies, and alienating our allies? Because it goes beyond just pettiness or fascists liking fascists. There has been a sustained, for a decade now, a sustained effort to reestablish the multipolar conditions, you know? In so many ways. Certainly not just with Trump's like belligerency, but like constantly. I don't know. And leftists fall for it, wanting multipolarity. Leftists are politically irrelevant all around the world, so I don't care. They have nothing nowhere, you know? Low grade conflict is profitable to them. Large scale or major conflict is destabilizing. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, and again, I apologize, but in the hit novel 1984, the indefinite war with Eurasia and with East Asia are not actually fought with those countries, but in proxy wars in the what was it they described? An area of the world containing roughly 1 billion people with 3 points at the. They described like the area. It's like the Middle East, Southeast Asia. There was like, hold on. The whole premise of like of well, not the premise of the book, I suppose, but the premise of like the indefinite conflict in the book is the idea that rather than fighting in any meaningful way, they fight to expend human capital production so that the wealth doesn't go towards enriching people or improving the quality of life for the majority of the population. Because they want to maintain the deprivation of the lower classes, and it got harder and harder to do that as the productive capabilities of the society increased. They had to come up with increasingly contrived ways of expending that productivity in a way that would not benefit anyone. So they carry out indefinite warfare over the miserable motherfuckers in this chunk of the world, uh, not actually fighting directly with one another, because to do so would actually potentially invite the end of the world. Instead, they just battle over proxies because that allows them to maintain, you know. Anyway, I know it's trite analysis, but it's very prescient, I have to say. Especially given like where it is, you literally have China, Russia's encroaching westward right now, and then you have like everywhere else, I guess, except for the poorest and most populous area of the world. This chunk right here is the area of the world where the population is still booming at the greatest rate. I don't know. Orwell predicted taking Greenland. True. What was the ending of 1984 again? Winston was happy. He looked at the camera and said, "Hello there. Hi." Kind of a grim way to start the stream, huh? Just a little bit? Just a smidge. All your streams open grimly? I don't try for that, you know. You gonna talk about the Twitter flirting discourse? My friend was the only girl at a hackathon and someone gave her this note. Oh yeah. People are really mad at this lady. Hey, I think you're really cute, and I love those 2 braids in the back of your hair. Let me take you out sometime. I'd love a lesson from you on how to hack LOL. So first of all, I want to clear this up to begin with. This is fake. Why? This is not a man's handwriting. I'm sorry. I'm doing it. I'm putting my foot down on that. But the drama is real. It's bait. The drama is real. People are really look at that. Holy shit, 45.4 million views. Riz, not sure. What do you think? It's a bait post, but yeah, people are real mad about this. Do people really think a man used a pink post-it note? No. The pink post-it note's not the issue. The issue is the handwriting. The pink post-it note, that's fine. Pink is in. Men are essentially bad at writing. That is true. Men and doctors. But all doctors are men anyway, so, you know. It's true. Don't get mad at me. I'm just the messenger. So much of this discourse is nothing but rage bait. I mean, it is true, and you'll have to forgive me for going back to this. People are really fucking lonely nowadays. Like, really lonely. And aren't really talking to other people in public or reaching out or anything like that. So I would say, so leaving aside the fact that this is fake, I would say that as a practice, you probably shouldn't like blow people up for awkward attempts at flirting or trying to ask you out, unless they're really fucking it up. Like that one Gooner guy who died or whatever, the Goonicide, the guy who was like flashing his junk at ladies at the drive-thru and then killed himself when somebody recorded him doing it or something. Like that's, I mean, that would be like the other side of the coin where I'd say you can blow that person up. You guys don't know about the Goonicide? Whatever. It's not relevant to what I'm talking about. No? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. It's okay. What is Goonicide? Don't worry about it. I'm a femoid and I wish more people would be approachable like this. I won't lie. I have, and this could be like a personal preference thing. I have always thought it is really awkward to proposition somebody via note. Like for me, if you're talking to me, you got to talk to me. But at the same time, I'm a guy, and for the most part, I approach when I've approached. So I'm not, you know, like whatever. True, but it's not that bad to do this. No, it's not. It's not. This isn't bad. It's just, I guess, like to me, it's a bit more awkward, a little more, you know, but it's not bad. People are really lonely, dude. We talk about the male loneliness epidemic mostly because the nature of men being lonely versus women being lonely right now, very different. Because with men, a lot of the lonely men have nothing and talk to no one. And a lot of the lonely women have options in the same way that a hungry person could like lick the puddle of melted ice cream on the ground from when a kid dropped a popsicle several hours ago. You know what I mean? Like it's not that the way, because people always say like, how can women be lonely? They're getting propositions thrown at them all the time. Yeah, but have you seen the propositions? You know? Like have you seen them? Come on. It's bleak out there. Yeah. You know, people love to do those like tests where they make a female Tinder account and with some like fake model photos and rake in the likes, you know, the swipes up or whatever, or the swipe right. I forget. I haven't used Tinder in ages. But you know what no one ever examines? What it's like to talk to the guys who like you. You know what I mean? Like no one is ever like, okay, I have amassed 100 likes in one day. Let me talk to some of the people who liked me. And then it's like, oh my God. Who boy. I mean, you can get this if you're a guy going on Grindr. If you're a guy and you make a Grindr account, you don't even have to put a picture up. People will just message you and say like, here's my asshole. It's fucking crazy out there, you know? Does that make you feel appreciated? Just it's not. You got to have a bit of sympathy is what I'm saying. I turned on gay mode on Bumble after like 2 days. I kind of understand what it's like for women. Yeah. It's a good way to build sympathy, I think. I'm not clicking on TikToks, man. If I do, I'll get like arrested or something. Ain't that the law now? Women have it rough, Lamau dudes are insane. Well, I think both sides have it rough. You know, it's just like the nature of the dynamic is different. Because I feel like a lot of guys now live in perpetual fucking terror of approaching women because they're aware of the fact that the dynamic is what it is, and they don't want to like upset or inconvenience or potentially threaten a woman by approaching her, so they're like never willing to approach, and then 80 years pass and they die. And you know, that's obviously not ideal for anyone. Neither side's having a good time, yeah. Oh yeah, I saw this. I'm so lonely. Here's my dick. Do you like Andrew Tate? Will you be my trad wife? I'm a liberal. I just hate the wokes. You're not a feminist, are you? You're a six, but you haven't hit the wall yet. Yeah. It is accurate, yeah. Should I just blow my shit smooth off? You mean like shave your dick and balls? Nah, hair's in now. You've described a problem. Do you have any solutions? To like a massive seismic social divide that's been opening for decades across the whole world? No, not like, not immediately. Not like massively, I guess. I don't have any. I wish I could fix that. Um, you have to be able to go out and talk to people. It's just it's a lot easier than you think it is. I don't know. At the end of the day, socializing, the ability to be social and to be funny and compelling and to read other people's emotions is a skill like every other skill. And a lot of people are really bad at it because starting in like the beginning of high school, they basically have just one or two close friends that they fucking hardcore autist out with and don't get any practice socializing outside of that core group. Like it used to be you had your friend circle, but you were still forced into social interactions all the time because all of society was structured around putting you in situations where you had to interact with others, and those interactions meant something. Like if you lived in a small town, you couldn't just be flippant or weird to like the local grocer because that's the same grocer you're going to see every time you get groceries. You know, you don't have you can't just blow them off because they're just one interchangeable person or service worker out of millions in the city you live in or whatever, you know? You kind of have to take that shit seriously. Nowadays, you can go your whole damn life without doing anything, talking to anyone. All the people you interact with are totally interchangeable, disposable, so don't get any social practice. So of course you fucking suck at it, you dumbasses. You have to build that, like you have to exercise that muscle. It got much worse after COVID. Yeah. Low key saying city people are by default shittier human beings. No, but there is a difference if you're traveling through a really small town when you stop at a gas station or whatever. Those people often are a lot more willing to talk to you. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Having driven around some pretty rural back roads, stopping at like a general store that looks like it was built in 1896 or something, for the most part, yeah, because there's more investment on their end in that engagement. You're not just like, people are just like swapping out forever. You're never going to see each other again, you know? But they often tend to be like really xenophobic, not just like in a broader nationwide sense, but they tend to like, you know, in their city be kind of callous towards outside experiences or people. So there's like a lot of variety. It's you know. How do I meet someone if I hate drinking alcohol? It seems impossible. That is a thing that I thought back when I was in college, and now that I've been out of college for years now, I feel like alcohol has nothing to do with meeting or talking to new people. Like it's really easy to just not. Like you can go anywhere, you know? You can go to parks, local events, board game nights, coffee shops. You can go to a bar and not drink. Like who? No one cares. No one gives a shit if you go to a bar and you get like beer, cheese, and pretzels or whatever. You know, You can go out, you can sit like hiking groups. There are that like there's all kinds of different exercise groups. The type of exercise determines what kind of people you're going to meet. If you like MILFs, go to yoga. If you like young 20 somethings or 30 somethings going through a midlife crisis, but who are also have like really nice forearms, go to rock climbing. Like, like there are, there's so many opportunities to meet people, If you want to date people, go to a singles bar. I don't even know what a singles bar is, to be honest. They're just bars. I guess it's not like a distinction that I've ever looked for or made an effort to carve out. But how do you go to these places by yourself, lol? You mean like, well, you can walk or you can drive there. Public transportation's not that great in the US, but that's also you do it. What do you mean? What do you mean? You literally just go there. You can like talk to the bartender. It is the job of the bartender to be like a conversational wall, like to bounce your shit off of a little bit. So if you just want to go there and relax and talk for a bit, you can do that. Um, I'm terrified of going alone. Get over it. I'm sorry. You have a finite life. One day you are going to die and that's it. There's nothing left after that, okay? You have a finite length of time to act on your desires and do what you want to do, okay? No one gets from A to B without, like, overcoming some anxieties and fears, all right? Have you ever taken public transportation? Yeah? Like hundreds, maybe thousands of times? Well, probably not 2,000, but maybe more than 1,000. Stop giving people existential dread. Go out and talk to people, and you won't have time to feel existential dread. No one's feeling existential dread while she's bouncing up and down on it in a manner that makes you most materially contemplative, okay? Go outside. I'm from a small place in the Balkans. Yeah, I'm really sorry. I guess I'm mostly talking about people. I don't know enough about rural Balkans to make any at the end of the day, going outside and talking to people is like the core key. Like that's the central point of advice that I'll offer in any situation. But yeah, the individual circumstances vary a lot. Um, bit by bit. Honestly, the hard part is keeping friends. Like keeping up with people can be tough, especially if you're a busybody or depressed. Yeah, like when you're an adult, you get busy, and sometimes friends don't talk to each other for a while. But if you're both like earnest and interested and have a good time together, that's always going to be the case. Like people have I think a lot of people only understand friendship in the context of like that high school friend they locked in with and did everything with all the time. Like you'd hang out in person, then you'd play games together online every day, and then you're like you go into college and you start meeting other people, but you're not used to having friends that you don't spend literally your entire life with, so it doesn't feel like a friendship, and it feels less real, you know? That's not like sustainable. No. How do normies suck at socializing this bad? At furcons, I can make 10 new friends in minutes. Kiss person who was named Kiss Dog. You're really opening yourself to get. No, I'm not going to take the bait. People in your life are already mean enough to you. Yeah, if you're like queer and autistic, you can probably find communities where you can make a lot of friends relatively easily. It really depends. I try not to like structure my advice around that too much because there are people who watch me who are, believe it or not queer and not autistic, and I don't want them to feel like this advice is kind of like exclusive to people who already own fursuits. It's really not. I will always maintain that you're probably going to have more fun with queer women than you would with just straight women, because every experience that I've had with a straight woman has had at least one head scratcher of a moment where I just didn't understand what the fuck she was on about. But that might honestly just be because I'm queer. So maybe if I was straight and I was talking to a straight woman and she was like, yeah, it would give me the ick if a guy, I don't know, cried during a movie, I would be like, yep, that's right, and not think about it. I have no idea. Yeah, thankfully there aren't that many straight women anymore, so this isn't a problem you have to deal with too much. Yeah. I can attest the furry tactic works for normies too. Look, I've been to plenty of furry conventions, okay? I live in Seattle, all right? Literally the very first thing that I saw when I first moved up here was people milling about in fursuits outside of a hotel, which led to Vermin and I stopping nearby and walking in out of curiosity and stumbling into a con where I was almost immediately recognized, okay? Yeah, it's just a matter of like finding groups that you vibe with. But that's like a practice, because right now most of you motherfuckers, the only things that you guys vibe with are solo day drinking and League of Legends, okay? Like, man, it's so hard to find people who vibe with me, a person with no social, skills, who doesn't know how to interact with people. Like, yeah, of course you're having a difficult time finding friends. You have to develop those skills. Solo day drinking is fine. It's really not. And most people here would agree with me, but they wouldn't agree with my next position, which is that solo daytime weed smoking is also degenerate. And then they're going to be like, whoa, 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 hold on. Okay. There's nothing wrong with needing to take 6 hits of a pen after I stop the car at the grocery store, but before getting out, so that I'm toasted while getting my food. I could quit any time. I've just chosen not to for years and spent thousands of dollars on expensive disposable vape pens. We're all slaves to electrochemistry. Speak for yourself, okay? There's no substance I take. No. I thought you said you quit that habit. I drink coffee every day before stream, but not more than the FDA recommends. No ADHD meds. Guy who stops the car outside the grocery store, quickly pops some Ritalin so that he has the buzz going while he shops. What the fuck are you talking about? That's... just a little more to get through the day. Crushed. Amphetamine tablets. These people exist. I don't claim them. Vosh Veed vapes, Jesus. Weed vapes are like $5 a piece at the dispensary, chill out. Guys, everyone point and laugh at Soli. This motherfucker is smoking mid vapes. They're just grinding stems up and dumping that shit into like a leftover Bic lighter plastic rectangle. Floor sweepings. They actually just have a guy smoking real weed blow on a stack of tinder and then grind that up and put that in the box. When I was in middle school, a ring of kids got busted for trying to get high off Dayquil. Can't you get high off Dayquil? Or no, it's NyQuil, right? Like people use NyQuil in lean, but that's not the shit they make meth out of. Meth is the other type of cold medicine, right? I don't know. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention when I watched Breaking Bad. The XM. All right. Lean is codeine? Okay. NyQuil makes you feel a little drunk. That shit knocks me out, man. The main reason I don't drink is because that shit knocks me out. I'm just still, you know, not only do I get drunk quickly, I'm just tired after. Lean is a drug? What the flip? You have to eat a big meal before drinking? I know. Stupid. Not on topic, but did you hear about a homeless bandit in Atlanta that was killed during an encampment clearing? So fucking horrific. No, I didn't hear that, but that seems kind of like, I don't know, fitting with the era, isn't it? Gotta be seeing a lot of that shit. Like, homelessness is so fucking bad right now. Germany polls before election are out. AFD second place. FDP is out. Sheesh. Well, we'll see how things go, I guess. Wow, thanks, you guys. Bulldozer death. Jesus. I mean, it's Atlanta. They really hate homeless people over here, right? This is like near the cop city. The police here are already really militarized. Yo, Softball, I'm actually looking for some OG German army trainers. Good get. Good get. German army what? German army trainers. It's a style of shoe you're all very familiar with. That's just like the term for them. They look like this. Nowadays, lots of shoes look like them. But like, it's just a type of shoe. Isn't that just a sneaker? A lot of what we call sneakers today are actually from a bunch of like specific types of shoes that were made for specific reasons, like running shoes, tennis shoes, deck shoes. There are lots of different types of sneakers that were made with specific purposes, and as time went on and they were used less for work and more for just getting around or for fashion, they kind of blurred together, you know? Yeah, basketball shoes, stuff like that. But they used to be distinct. Serious question, Vosh. Do you think people are fear-mongering, or are the times really just that bad? I think they're pretty bad. I also think that there are a lot of underlying stabilizing forces that are worth keeping in mind. Not because I think they'll prevent bad things from happening, but the basic underlying like forces that I'm looking at here are that, one, as time has gone on, people have become increasingly intolerant of the suffering of others. I know it doesn't seem that way, but in terms of what you can get away with in inflicting brutality on other groups, populations, it is harder now than it was before. Maybe it doesn't seem because people are really callous right now, but generally speaking, this remains the case, you know? And that's one. And two, the people most responsible for orchestrating the situation that we're in right now benefit from the world being stable enough that international supply lines aren't disrupted. So even though I talked about like a kind of permanent state of conflict in the world, it couldn't be perpetuated to the extent that it interrupts those supply lines, because that would be detrimental to the you know, interests of the economic forces we're talking about. So my hope here is that, you know, however things end up working out, those at least are stabilizing forces. And then you got climate change, and you know, it's complicated. The main point is you should never be doomer. That is true. Damn, this guy's got his shit on. The German army trainers. Raw selvage denim, no sock, German army trainers. I would wear socks with this. Safari jacket, belted safari jacket, bandana, and button down, probably poplin shirt. I'd wear socks with it. Nice jacket. It is nice. Is it suede? No, I think it's waxed canvas. Anyway, we're not doing that yet. We're not doing that yet, folks. Damn, I had a question about the guy that I just showed. What are clothes? Nobody's figured that out yet. Scientists are still trying to figure that out. It's genuinely too funny not to cover. We need to like massively adjust our standards for. We need to adjust our expectations for government and how government runs and what people can get away with and how bad things are going to be. So 2 days, I think 2.5 days before his inauguration as the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump launched a meme coin. So I'll tell you why this is happening. This is going to be like a standard rug pull, or possibly just an onboarding for people to get invested in cryptocurrency itself. Lots of very wealthy and powerful people like cryptocurrency because it's largely unregulated and they can scam the fuck out of people. Most of the winners in crypto coin are already like very wealthy holders because it's literally just raw speculation pump and dump with no attachment to any kind of real world performance like you'd get on the S&P, you know? People are saying that Trump is doing this to make some money. I disagree. I think that Trump is an empty vessel for corporate interests. I think that he also probably has 1,000 IOUs out to people. He really had to pull together a lot of corporate and oligarchical support to like win the presidency. Keep in mind, in the months leading up to the election, basically everyone bent the knee to him. You know, like even before the election, a bunch of people who before were ostensibly apolitical, they started leaning in on him. Even news coverage, which in the past has been a lot less charitable to him, they were really cozying up, you know? I mean, remember Jeff Bezos squelching the Washington Post endorsement of Kamala Harris? That's probably the most egregious example that I can think of, but, you know. Trump probably has 1 million IOUs, and there was probably a group of people, I don't know, just some wealthy dipshits, God only knows, who were like, hey, if you launched a meme coin, it would be epic. We can call it, you know, the Trump coin. We'll hold the initial investment. It's going to go to the moon. And Trump said, sure, why not? You've already done such and such for me. That's a favor. You know, here, you're calling me on it. Okay. And now they're doing this. I think that CoffeeZilla, if I remember correctly, CoffeeZilla already said, according to the publicly available like blockchain data on the coin, something like 80% of its initial holdings were all in the same wallet. I think I'm not as much of a crypto lord as CoffeeZilla is. Detective Zilla, we need you. Let me find the tweet. Hold on. So you'll have to forgive me. I'm not folding ideas. So you know, I'm kind of working off the knowledge and interest of other people. Where the hell is it? You can never find these people when you want them, you know? Twitter CoffeeZilla. There we go. Dropping Trump meme coin 2 days becoming president's nasty work. New secretary, new SEC DOJ guarantees no prosecution. 80% of tokens vest to insiders during the presidency. Most people losing money will be MAGA who aren't crypto native. Should be a crime, but crime is legal now, I guess. Crime is legal now, but only if you're wealthy. Yeah, there we go. 80% owned by one wallet. I'll take CoffeeZilla's word in it. He's a pretty investigative guy. He's talked about stuff like this before. One day it's Logan Paul, the next day it's the future president of the United States of America. Yeah, so this serves one of two purposes. One is a rug pull where they make an enormous amount of money. What is Trump coin up to? Hold on one second. Let me see. It's probably up like a bajillion %, you know? Trump coin. Can I get like a track on that? Price soars overnight. Official Trump to USD chart over the past. Official Trump. Is this it? I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea how to parse this. Because I think that the valuation of the coin doesn't actually begin when it was first listed here yesterday. There was like whatever. Either way, it's gone from 700 million to what 10, 11 billion now. Whatever. My actual take on what this is, though. Rug pull is one take. I think the more likely one is that this is just going to be used as a promotional scheme from Trump throughout the entirety of his presidency. He's going to keep pumping Trump coin because the higher Trump coin goes up, not only will the eventual rug pull be all the sweeter, but also it'll get more people, mostly his followers, to invest in cryptocurrency, which allows them to be easy marks for, you know, future rug pulls. Again, the powers that be love crypto. I can't recommend enough Folding Ideas' videos on NFTs and crypto because it really reinforces the idea. Like the myth that crypto was meant to challenge the big banks, real estate holders, speculators, whatever, total bullshit, you know? Like they love it. It's literally just unregulated raw speculation. The more money you have going into it, the more money you are likely to make from it. You know, it's perfect for them. Thank heaven and hell that I'm too stupid for crypto. Dio Tyros, you are not too stupid for crypto. You're actually too smart for it. Not getting involved in crypto is the smart. Literally, like there is not much data on how much people have lost on crypto because it is unregulated. From every estimate that I have seen, the vast majority of crypto wins have gone to huge wallets that came in early or got into this with so much money they were able to sway the market in their favor. It's not hard to. If you have enough money to advertise a coin, you can artificially inflate its value, then you pull the rug, you make the money. Unless you have an enormous amount of money, insider knowledge, or you're extremely lucky, there is no smarts to using crypto. There's no like it's you're going to a casino that is more rigged against you than an actual casino is. Like you are more likely to make it rich going to Las Vegas, going into a casino and running the slots than you are to try your luck, you know, investing all over the place in crypto. It is a worse casino. Unless you run the casino, in which case it's actually great for you. So is there some secret I'm not aware of that makes it not possible / realistic for interested parties to bribe Trump for this? Don't even worry about Trump being bribed. Bribing is legal. No one cares. It doesn't matter. Trump didn't even divest from his corporations during his first presidential term. There's this is no longer news. You're going to wake up every day to the most obvious corruption in the world. and it won't matter. There will literally be no consequence to it. You can keep talking about it. Like, I'm not telling you to not talk about it. I'm just saying, like, it's going to be ordinary. It's not going to be exciting. Like, don't you guys remember back during Trump's first presidential term where he conducted a huge number of his presidential meetings at a hotel that he owned? And it was basically, there are even interviews where they admit this, where if people wanted to cozy up to Trump, they would go and buy like the expensive suite to stay there before talking to him and dump tens of thousands into his hotel. That carried on for 4 years. Again, this is all stuff that if Merrick Garland had any balls at all, they could have cracked down on over. But they all serve the same interest, basically. So obviously that wasn't going to happen. And now it's just going to get worse. Rug pull is when the coin owner pulls it off the market. A rug pull is when the people who, usually, when the people who initially invested in the coin, who got, who bought up a large portion of the minted coins to begin with, and therefore hold a large percentage of its overall value, work to inflate the value of the coin by pumping it up, and then when they're ready to dump, they sell all at once. Yoink. Like, they pull the rug out from under you. You know, the value of the coin plummets, but they make away with an enormous amount of money. Everyone who's left over is fucked, basically. There's a difference between crypto scams and Bitcoins, though. Well, yeah, Bitcoin is one crypto scam. It's a subcategory. Bitcoin isn't any different from Trump coin. There is nothing meaningful that makes Bitcoin different from Trump coin, different from Dogecoin, different from what they're all functionally the same. There are minor differences in like the way different coin holders or like the gas fees or like how they minted, blah, blah, blah. But like fundamentally as a raw speculative vessel that allows for unregulated pump and dumps, that's what they all are for, you know? Like Trump coin. Isn't this basically how the whole stock market works? Yes. I made this point when I talked about Vivek Ramaswamy's wealth. But yeah, essentially, like, cryptocurrency is just a less regulated stock market because the stock market is just a way of enriching a very small number of people through speculation, you know? We have regulated the stock market to the point where it is considered to be stable enough that we do things like invest teacher pensions into it. You know, we have, you know, Roth IRA funds. People make responsible, intelligent investment accounts. But at the end of the day, that's only because we regulated the stock market into a position where it was considered stable enough for that to happen. That's not its innate state. Its innate state is closer to what the cryptocurrency is right now, you know? I'm extremely proud of what we continue to accomplish in crypto. Trump coin is currently the hottest digital meme on earth. And I truly believe that World Libertyfi will revolutionize DeFi, CeFi. I don't fucking know. I don't care. It'll be the future of finance. We are just getting started. What is this guy talking about? Here's my theory on Trump coin, which is almost diabolical, but totally something Trump is capable of. I don't actually care about this. I guess the point of it is that Trump has been cozying up to the crypto freaks for a while, and crypto freaks love Trump. Why are decentralized currency bros buying the coin named after the central authority? For the same reason that some of the most ardent proponents for police brutality call themselves libertarians. They just want money, man. Oh yeah, I forgot that Snoop Dogg was at that fucking crypto conference. He's going to be performing at Trump's inauguration too. Is it actually his coin, or is Trump just licensing his name again? I don't know if there's a meaningful difference, really, in this environment. Trump retweeted this thread, and in this thread, this guy is saying that Trump is grifted over and over and over again. Me when I'm party to a serious political and economic movement. We as an industry have worked too hard for too long. We've worked too hard to fight the narrative that everything in crypto is a scam. And I say this as someone who bought Trump coin. But do we want to be the movement we know we can be, or do we want to be Hawk to a girl? (2016) Snoop Dogg. Oh, dude, Snoop Dogg doesn't believe in fucking anything. He's a total hack who gets away with being soulless because he has a very distinct voice and he comes across as chill. Like, yeah, it's not. Apparently, Trump pardoned an associate of Snoop. Trump pardoned Snoop's current business partner, Harry O, who's the co-founder of Death Row Records. Huh. I wonder if it's just that simple. It's crazy how simple power can be, you know? When you get past, like, Democrats meandering and sitting on their thumbs and not doing anything ever, you know? I don't know. Death Row Records has a shady fucking past? I mean, yeah, they're on death row. What'd they do to get there, right? Trump would pardon OJ if he did it. Trump would not pardon OJ. You can go back and look at the news at the time and find out what kinds of people were... Well, every reasonable person should have believed OJ did it, but there were the people who thought OJ did it, and there were the people who thought that OJ did it, and also that he's black. Which I guess he is. They were right on that one. He is black. Nice one. Real funny. Don't buy Trump coin, okay, guys? No matter how tempting it might be. It's just not a good bet. Can I buy one Trump coin as a tweet? Tweet? Treat. His website bills it as the only official Trump meme. Trading at just over 32 bucks. Okay. So it would be 32 bucks to buy a Trump coin, but what would the gas fees be? Does it what are the gas fees looking like these days? Basically nothing. They brought it down. Nothing really. It's on Solana. Oh shit, guys, it's free real estate. You got to get in there. This is financial advice. No, it's not. You're confusing gas fees with regular fees? I guess it's been a while since I've seen the Folding Ideas video. Don't buy the goddamn Trump coin. 1 second. What are you yapping about? What are you yapping about? Look at him. He's so chill. He is not chill. He likes zipping around and attacking my feet. Whoop. He wants to escape. He wants to escape. Whoop. Oh my God. You hear that? Oh, I have to send this off to the to my editor. Just 1 second. Ryan. Okay, sending over. Trump launches meme coin days before taking office. Something like that. Send this over. I didn't stream yesterday. The backlog. That was a good segment. I can never have enough videos saying don't buy crypto. A lot of people are getting in on it. You know what I need to do more of? More videos telling people not to download DraftKings. I had no idea how bad it was until relatively recently because I don't really consume sports media at all, but holy shit. I saw like clips from I think it was I don't know if it was like it wasn't like the Super Bowl or whatever, but it was just like a football thing or like a clip. They're just hustling gambling in all sports games now, aren't they? Like you're betting on everything all the time, all over the place, and you're betting on everything. It's not just who wins the games. It's like, is this person going to get a touchdown before this point in time? Is this like how many times is this going to happen or whatever? The application of sports betting addiction is horrifying. I am a Puritan when it comes to this, and I genuinely don't care. It should be made illegal. Like it's not even just like a oh you've gone to Vegas kind of thing. It's like you're already on your phone all the time. Everybody is, and you are being given like constant 24/7 drip feed incentives to engage in like literally in no time at all. You can just lose everything. It's not even like a fly to Vegas kind of deal. You can just drop it all and it's gone. It's all over YouTube and every podcast, even tangential to pop culture, has a sports gambling ad. How big is sports gambling? 11 billion in revenue in 2023. The US sports betting has rapidly grown into a 10 could become a $45 billion business. Jesus. I see ads for it on TV and passing all the time. It's so grim. I mean, I don't watch TV, so I don't see the ads, but like the little bits that I have seen, it's just really... Banning something outright always creates a black market. Yeah, but the difference with something like DraftKings is that the app and its prominence is fueled by, in one part, massive constant advertisement, and on the other part, the fact that so many people are involved in it. It wouldn't be as much of an issue if it was like something you had to go out of your way for, you know? Got Super Bowl ads. Would banning it help? I think so, yeah. I feel like gambling really has to be tied to like a physical space you have to be in to participate. I don't even like that, but I agree. There is something way the fuck worse about having it follow you all the time on an app that has been like thoroughly like designed meticulously by data scientists to optimize how much retention it gets from you, you know? Don't forget, Kick is literally the sports gambling streaming site. This goes right back to the 1984 man, or the 1984 thing, man. And I don't feel bad for the triteness of the comparison. Okay, they are people's material needs could be met. So rather than do that, they are finding ways of building an economy based on siphoning money off of the working class with literally no benefit to anyone. Like all production, no, there is no like massive breakthrough technological development or industry where it's like we physically produce a thing that changes people's lives. That doesn't happen anymore. Every breakthrough industry now is like live streaming, sex work, gambling, fucking cryptocurrency, NFTs. It's always some way of extracting money, which I do, by the way. Thank you for the donations, without providing, well, I provide entertainment, I guess. You could argue DraftKings does as well, but I think you'd have to be kind of fucked to draw a comparison, but maybe that's just to my benefit. Jesus, hey, speaking of, I'll go over donos soon. I'm backlogged in donos too, so I'll go over donos soon. Don't forget AI. Yeah, AI as well. Like we've given up on the idea that the productive forces in this country can be turned towards anything that actually improves people's lives. Now it's just like new ways of trapping you into giving more and more of your money, siphoning it off. The DraftKings YouTube channel has like no views. It's just an app thing, I guess. It doesn't they don't really have like a media enterprise on their own. The days of microwave plates starting to spin her over. Yeah. Not weed discourse. No one's talking about weed. Can I be real with you guys? I don't even know what fantasy teams are. I'm so out of the loop, I don't even know. I don't either. That's probably good. You draft players and earn points based on their in-game performance. I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Why not just play a video game? What else? Where else you can, draft the team and then get points based on their performance? Any RTS game, XCOM. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. Madden. Well, I'm not encouraging people to play sports games. Okay, that's a pretty low cut. But why would you even care about sports at all when there's video games? Dude, sports are cool. They're not really my thing. It's just like the gambling industry around them. Fucking insane. It's way worse than gotcha games, but people talk about gotcha games at least, you know? How I make $1,000 plus a month on Prize Picks guaranteed. Sports betting strategy. Can I just look at this really quick out of curiosity? Just really quick.
Much nobody on social media, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram will ever do. And I'm gonna show you inside of my account so that you guys can see that this is actually legit. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read. So the strategy that I'm going to be explaining in this video, guys, is called correlation. And I've explained this on my YouTube channel several times, but a lot of people, they don't seem to understand it. And I keep seeing a lot of people play slips that don't have correlation. So let me set the Metcalf are on the exact same team.
Maybe I actually don't want to watch
27
this for any
to
length
10,
of time.
You have to throw the ball a lot.
The vid title has the same vibe as a dating guru, but for sports gamblers. I mean, that tends to be the case for people offering financial advice. Wait, Vosh, I'm actually really curious about this perversion of statistics. It's gambling. You can be good at gambling, but the industry overall is socially deleterious. Like, the only reason it exists is because DraftKings takes margins on the bets that are made and the money that's paid out. So the whole thing, like, it siphons money no matter what. At least if you're just like doing bets with your friends, $5 to them is $5 to them. $5 to you is $5 to you, you know? They always win. The house cannot lose. Passive income, how I started drop shipping from scratch step by step. This is another example of, like, it's impossible for us to make anything anymore. The entire economy has to be scams now, which drop shipping 100% is. Drop shipping is literally just, what if I became the middleman, took a 3-cent product from China and charged people $20 for it? I offer nothing. I can't do quality service. I know nothing about the products. I am just creating a Western accessible storefront so that people can give me much more money. Everyone can be the bourgeoisie. Ever watched the Mooncat video on gambling and gambling streams? Very harrowing. No, I haven't. I probably should, though, because I like Mooncat. I think I remember. It's a her, right? I think I remember seeing a video of hers that I liked, or maybe multiple. You should watch more Mooncat videos on stream. No, it's okay. I think I content stole enough from Hassan the past few weeks. Don't want to overstay or overstay my welcome. How I started drop shipping from scratch. I'm so fascinated with stuff like this, you know? Like, just an entire economy built on grift and scams and shitty ass shirts. Man, that looks bad. Guys, don't wear sateen dress shirts with nothing on over it. It looks like you got caught mid-dress. The 3 rules. Is it that easy? Hold on. Maybe I can finally quit this shitty fucking YouTube gig and start making some real money.
I want to put it to the test by only using free tools to make a Shopify store and see how many products I can sell online. But I'm setting myself 3 rules. Number 1, I must use free AI tools and
I mean, if you're drop shipping, you might as well, like, fake everything with AI, right? Literally, why not? Like, you're already a leech on the economy, and, like, you exist to make the lives of other people worse. It, like, literally, why not, right? Yeah, this is where capitalism has taken us, you know? They said that the profit motive would lead towards innovation, but in reality, like, the profit motive actually just leads to profit. Innovation is only the direction that the profit motive will lead people towards if there isn't another better way. People who want to make money will follow the path of least resistance. And if the most effective, easiest, most convenient way of making money, rather than providing a new product or service or improving people's lives, is just make money by being a middleman and using AI to fake storefronts to dropship stuff from China, then That's the path of least resistance. You know? Why would you put any more effort in than that? Drop shipping hasn't been a legit grind since 2018. Tell that to the Etsy storefront. 90% of Etsy is dropship bullshit now. Most of the Amazon storefront as well. It didn't used to be that way, but because Amazon like ruthlessly cost cut everyone who provides products on their store, nowadays, like if you search anything on Amazon, you will see multiple listings of the same product from different companies because those companies are sourcing that product from the same factory in China that are just mass producing it and giving it to whoever wants it so they can then market it to Amazon. I just go directly to AliExpress now. Temu, Shein, you know, it's all the same basic thing, I guess. Vosh, no one buys this shit. This guy is the one who's scamming people. He's selling optimism about being able to start your own business to people without real prospects. That is true. He's on the other level of the scam, where rather than scamming people with the AI shopfront tool, whatever, he's scamming people by selling them the myth that they can do this. In reality, drop shipping is now a massive industry that goes well beyond like individual. You know, you're not homesteading the drop shipping industry. This shit is being done on Amazon now. Like there are multi-billion-dollar companies that are literally just a middleman that, you know, takes cuts off the stuff they get from Chinese factories. Check if he has a sponsor. Get a free AI-built Shopify store. Try AutoDS here for just $1. There you go. Some of the links in this description are affiliate links I get a commission from. Not if you have Honey installed, apparently. Okay, but isn't that basically all retail? No, drop shipping is not the default state of retail. It's actually a very relatively modern development because Chinese factories produce so much crap so quickly and so efficiently that it opens up like a wide margin for potential profit on people who want to upsell it to wealthier Westerners. Money to a small scammer or a large corpo? Well, the large corpo is often also scamming. Retailers buy in bulk and store the things themselves. Also, when retailers have things made for them, even if they're made in a Chinese factory, the retailer assumes responsibility over the construction of those products. A drop shipper literally just buys crap from China and sends it over to you. Like, no local warehouse, no ownership over the product. It's literally just like they are the one facilitating it and taking a huge cut in the middle. Whereas if there's like let's say like an American clothing company has factories in Bangladesh or Vietnam, but that company will go to the factory directly and say, these are our cuts, these are our forms, this is what we want, these are our expectations. And then they're bought in bulk, shipped over to the company, the Western retailer who holds it. And because they hold it and had a part in the construction of that clothing, they take ownership over the quality of the product. Like, if you went up to them and you were like, you know, hey, I take issue with the way this is built, they wouldn't just say, oh yeah, well, we just get it from a factory in China, because they're the ones who told the factory what to make. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that model, by the way, and I don't have an issue necessarily with stuff being made in factories in China, Bangladesh, Taiwan, or whatever. Obviously, I want the best possible conditions for the workers over there, and that's a whole, you know, that's a whole thing. But like, principally, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, you know? The comparative value that they provide with cheaper labor is not like a necessarily exploitative thing, because they also have a much cheaper cost of living. So there's a way to balance that out. It's just, you know. I was in Bangladesh last week and bought outfits that would normally cost $300 for like $20. It's actually so weird with people there are so dripped out because they can buy it for cheap. Yep. It's the consequence to the US dollar being so strong. Everything in America is really expensive to us. Whereas if we bring our American dollars over there, we're infinitely wealthy. Like, if you bring a middle-class American income over to the Philippines and go outside of the, like, you know, the resort areas where everything's catered to your economic sort of level, you're basically like a minor prince, you know. You're incredibly wealthy because the US dollar is insanely strong. And yeah, you can go to China, and I'm talking mostly about like my interests here because that's how I'm kind of like filtering the conversation, but there are incredibly talented craftsmen and tailors in China. You can get a extremely high quality, you know, bespoke custom made suit for a few $100s in many parts of China or Vietnam. Very, very high quality work. And the reason why you can get it cheaper over there is because rent over there is so much cheaper, labor over there is so much cheaper, resources over there are so much cheaper, so you're just getting it at a lower value, you know? And Hong Kong's famous for that. Yeah, my very favorite suit maker, the Anthology, is based out of Hong Kong. Why is rent cheaper there? Because the overall cost of living there is lower because their currency is weaker. This is the cost that we pay as Westerners for being on top of the global order economically, which, remember, being on top of the global order economically is not done to our benefit, it's done to the benefit of the corporations above us. They're the ones who really rake in the profits. We do get a lot of that benefit, but not all of it. And what that means is that, like, eating out at a restaurant here in America now costs $100,000 at McDonald's. Whereas if you go to a place that does not have as strong of a local currency, like in my example, Spain, they have the euro, but the Spanish economy is not as strong as America's, not even close. You can go over there and you can eat quite a bit cheaper for $1,000. No, really, like you can go to a cafe and have like a biscuit and coffee for $2 or €2, I should say. It's great. And if you want to go over to the Philippines or Taiwan or whatever, not Taiwan, sorry, Thailand, and get a meal there, you can get it basically for free. Like, if you are getting meals in the authentic parts of much of Southeast Asia, Africa, many parts of the Middle East, even like the Balkans, you know, you're basically eating for free. You understand what I'm talking about? And all of this is a consequence of our currency being so much stronger than theirs. But that also means when stuff gets brought over to us, it gets brought over in our currency. So we have to pay, you know, quite a bit for it. But keep in mind, $300 for a bespoke suit might not be much to an American traveling over to Hong Kong with US dollars. It's a lot for a person who lives in Hong Kong. So this is a relative dynamic, not an innate one. It's not like everyone over in, like, I don't know, the rural provinces of Western China or Tibet or, you know, whatever, are walking around drip the fuck out because they can easily afford, you know, high quality tailoring. That's not the case at all. Sorry, I've gone on about this for a bit, but it's important to understand the way this stuff works.
Keep the total cost of the shop creation to under $1. Number two, I have to be able to do it all from my laptop. And number three, I need to finish it in less than an hour. Okay, start the timer. Right, I've got a list of steps to complete.
Okay, I'm not actually watching this shit. I just think it's kind of funny. Really, guys, don't wear a sateen dress shirt with nothing over it. If you want, you can wear a casual button-up. Don't wear this shit, man. It doesn't look good. I think this guy's wealthy, too, if I remember correctly. Mark Tilbury. I think he's like... I think he might be doing the grifting for the love of the game, because I think that he's... If I remember correctly, he's independently wealthy. Like, self-made millionaire teaching business, personal finance, and investing to the next generation. Yeah, I think he just... I think he does it for the love of the game, man. Tilbury is an intensely British last name. It really is. Shit's going to get crazy expensive with the China tariffs. We'll see if those tariffs actually happen, by the way. Are you pronouncing satin like that on purpose? They're two different things. Satin is a material. Sateen describes the luster of the material. Like sateen would mean glossy, shiny, a very tight weave. And it's S-A-T-E-E-N. It's an adjective. What about velvet? Well, velvet is an entirely different thing. That is also a fabric. What about denim? That is a type of weave, usually cotton. Denim is also a fabric? Well, no, denim's a it's a fabric, yes, but it's not a specific type of material. Like, it's a way of weaving. You can make denim out of silk, and in fact, one company has and released 12 jeans with a silk blend to a recent distributor, and they were all snatched up before I even saw the email. I probably wouldn't have fit in them anyway. Also, they would have been very expensive. Don't tempt me nuts. What is canvas? Another type of weave, common one. Much of the woven fabrics that you've seen are some form of canvas or another. Thoughts on sneakers with a suit? You really have to know what you're doing, but I don't want to get into it more than that. Trying to see if I can find a good picture of it, but honest to God, I'm kind of struggling. Oh, they were only 500. I know that's a lot. I expected them to be 800. I wasn't going to get them anyway. 60-40 cotton silk blend. Good Lord. Wait, you can make denim out of silk? Denim's just a type of weave. It's just a way of weaving the fabric, you know? You can make denim out of all sorts of stuff, though typically for a variety of reasons you want to use cotton. But if you want to get fancy-pantsy with it, you can make denim out of glass. Well, I'd like to see that, to be honest with you. I'd like to see that. Let's not get crazy with it here. Why do labels say like 90% denim? What they mean is that it's 90% cotton and that they've blended that cotton in with some other bullshit like elastane. It's not really 90% denim. It's just it's a weird thing to say. So why do they lie? Clothing companies lie to you all the time, man, especially the kind of clothing companies that would give you only 90% cotton jeans. But, you know. Also, most people don't know the difference between denim and cotton. All right, sorry. I got distracted again. It happens pretty often. I'm not actually sorry. Cotton is material, denim is weave, yes? Yes. What is this link that I have? Linen shirts, yeah or nah? Humans have been wearing linen shirts for thousands and thousands of years. Yeah, linen shirts can be good. Just need to know what you're doing with them. President Xi says hope for U.S.-China relations lies with the peoples. In an age of globalization and the internet, our community of shared destiny will only become closer. Rather than call them refugees, let's call them villagers of Village Earth who have found a new home. We are seeing levels of like Eastern or Orientalism that would put a 19th century Britain to shame. You know, the way Zoomers have been talking about the Red Note app. Have you seen like a bunch of young people on social media being like, hey, I saw there was a reply from an upper middle class Han Chinese on Red Note that said that their police are good and don't brutalize people. Can you believe that? Over here in America, police brutalize people all the time. Where's Radical Dino? Radical Dino, you said that you were worried about people being like negatively polarized into saying insane shit about China. Like the one guy I saw who said that China has no homeless people, even though even the Chinese government doesn't say that. You were right. It took me 2 days to get fed up with it. It's so bad. It's so fucking bad, man. This is why the US is banning TikTok or anything from China. Just simple chats with the average Chinese people on Xiaohongshu. Just the average Chinese people.
Because I've reached the part in this whole like class consciousness part where I'm just filled with the most impotent rage. And like,
that's great, man.
I'm talking that white hot, I need to sink my teeth into something in face. They don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck.
Oh my God. Okay, hold on.
Because what do you mean? That it never had to be this hard for us? Like, what do you mean in other countries they don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck on groceries? What do you mean?
I think that in America, the average percentage of your paycheck that you spend on groceries has been going down over time, and I think it's considerably lower here than it is like in many other parts of the world. Yeah, this is a classic Westoid Orientalist moment, as though people in poorer countries spend less of their income on groceries. God, Americans are so spoiled. How are you unironically going to drop class consciousness, the term class consciousness, and then do Treatler discourse? Like, shouldn't your class consciousness be informed by like a fundamental Marxist class, conflict-based perspective on the relationship the proletariat and bourgeoisie have to the means of production? The fact that like the surplus value of labor is extracted and so on and so on. Like that whole rigmarole, not my private burrito taxi costs more than it did in 2016. I am Adolf Treatler! I will defend the Chinese Communist Party and their brutal crackdown on the Uyghur Muslim people if it means a reduction in the price of my private burrito taxi.
In other countries, everyone can own homes because they're not paying $2,000 a month in rent or that their mortgages.
Man. Canada's still pretty bad, man. I think this is being talked about in relation to China, which is like one of the reasons why homeownership is relatively high in China is because up until like the 1990s, the country was almost ubiquitously poor as dirt. There was absolutely no demand for the land people were holding. So of course like this would be like, did you know back in 1850, like 99% of Americans owned their homes or whatever? Sure. Okay. Like not really the same dynamic. It's not really like reflective of wealth.
Aren't like their entire paycheck. What do you mean that people in China work one job and they don't even work 40 hours?
That's true, man. Just a balmy 24 hours a week. The suicide nets? Those aren't suicide nets outside the factory windows, okay? Those are fun trampolines, you know? They're basically the Chinese equivalent to like when tech companies will have a big slide in the foyer of their new building. It's just like a fun way of getting down, you know? They kind of like bounce from net to net. Who's gonna tell her about the kids? you all do understand that this is Orientalism, right? Like, if your radicalization experience is briefly talking to Chinese people on an app, just any random Chinese people, there are 1.4 billion Chinese people. You could be talking to anyone. You could be talking to Chinese Hitler. You have no idea. You have no idea. And then they, in broken English, are like, yeah, no, things are good here. You know, you're probably talking to the people who either fucking got sent over here to UCLA and UW to get an American degree before going back to China, or the people who are about to.
And they can easily afford their life. And then I'm over here working 60 hours a week, just me as a single parent, to like barely make ends meet. And I'm penny pinching every single second. And like, there's so much of life that my kid misses out.
Is this girl fucking bot? I mean, she might just be kind of stupid. I don't want to be too mean because this is mostly like, she's not being evil or whatever. It's just like, for the 100 billionth time, man, China is a capitalist country. It is less developed than the United States, and like many other less developed countries, you could go over there and you could buy land much easier because that land is less valuable. Like, yeah, it's, the idea though that like Chinese people are working fewer hours, come on. Come on, man. You can accept that the United States is a shithole without making these like stupid comparative assessments. If anything, right now our government is currently Chinifying because we have a dear leader who is surrounded by an oligarchical cabinet of billionaires that support his political interests. The CCP openly works with their ultra wealthy to support the interests of the central government. Chinese people work so much harder than Americans, let's be honest. Oh my god, yes, it's China! It's just weird and racist. It's like the modern equivalent of people being like, before white man came to America, every native lived in harmony with the land. They would smoke peace pipes, and once a month they would do their hunt to sustain the village for the entire rest of the month. And it's like, dude, come on, man. They weren't fey creatures. They were people like us. They played with the buffalo. No! They're just dudes. Don't be weird.
Out on and that I miss out on because of money and like work and no social support net. And you mean to tell me that it didn't have to be like this? They keep us in these chains on purpose, and it never had to be like this. Like,
I feel like we could levy these criticisms at our incredibly unfair and unequal economy without pretending China's better. Like, it's just, that's it. Like, what, it's, is she fake crying? It's TikTok. I mean, whatever.
I did everything right. I went to college. I had to drop out of college to take care of my mom when she was sick because, again, no social services, like no safety nets. Well, I mean, as we discussed, they have safety nets outside the factory windows. I don't know what social safety nets they have in China. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even see. There's a fucking community note on this. People in the US spend 6.7% of their total consumer expenditure on food for consumption at home. The figure in China is 20.1%. On average, workers in China also work more hours in the US, 2,174 per year to 1,757, or 41.8 hours a week to 33.8. Sheesh. Again, like, it's, why undermine the points with the, I don't know, the Westoid entitlement, you know? It's not even close. It's not even close. My dad worked his whole life and died and left everything to my mom. My mom was disabled and she lived on credit, and like she barely made ends meet, and she did everything she was supposed to. And I did everything I was supposed to, and it just keeps getting worse. It was never supposed to be like this. And I'm so angry that it is.
The music makes this so dorky. It just makes me worry that for most people in the modern world, where people have shorter attention spans and people are really brain poisoned by media, that they aren't capable of processing class analysis without having like a good guy to beat up the bad guy that is America. Like, you can't have a person who develops a sophisticated understanding of the economic forces that are suppressing them, because that's not like, well, actually China's the good guy and America's the bad guy. The forces are the same in both countries, man. Average annual labor hours per worker in 2017. TikToker who talks to an upper middle class Cambodian learns that Cambodia is actually a paradise and makes a crying TikTok about how they barely work any hours over there. Myanmar, Mexico, Malaysia, Singapore, Bangladesh, Costa Rica, South Africa, Hong Kong, Thailand, China, right up there at number 11.
Because what do you mean?
Whoa, what?
I've spent
What?
so
Didn't tell you to start playing again. Elon? Vietnam, Philippines, India, Pakistan, South Korea, Malta, Poland, Indonesia, Greece, Colombia, Taiwan, Chile, Russia, Hungary, Peru, Sri Lanka, Israel, Latvia, Portugal, Estonia, Lithuania, Croatia, Turkey, Nigeria, Romania, Cyprus, Czech Republic, and then finally, the United States. We're still pretty high up there. We work a decent amount. I wonder where France is. You know, we know what they're like. New Zealand, Ireland, Slovakia, Japan, Austria, Italy, Brazil, Ecuador, Canada, Argentina, Spain, United Kingdom, Finland, Slovenia, Bulgaria, Australia, Sweden, Switzerland, Uruguay, Belgium, Luxembourg, France, all the way down here at the bottom. Iceland, Netherlands, Norway, Denmark, Germany. 1,353. Okay, I gotta say, Germany, where the fuck do the productive Germany memes come from, man? You guys gotta bounce this shit. This is crazy low. This is like, what, 27 hours per week on average? You gotta bump that shit. They're super efficient. Ah, it must be that. It's all those Alpine Southern Germans who are bringing the numbers down. Northern Germans are out there working 72-hour work weeks, and Southern Germans are, I don't know, enjoying cappuccinos at 9,000 feet above sea level. Man, it must rule to be a Mediterranean. Except if you're Palestinian, I guess. Except for Palestine, it must rule to be Mediterranean, because your blood makes you lazy and people can't get mad at you about it without being racist. The Mediterranean, the sea air of the Mediterranean, that makes your food tasty and it makes you lazy. We work a lot. Our numbers are skewed by small business owners working all day in cafes. That rules. Born in the wrong geography. They're so me.
so much of my life working so hard to scrape by. And it never had to be like that. My suffering was at the expense of someone else becoming wealthy.
Yeah, I'll take a look at the meme. How Americans think Europeans live.
This is a day in the life of European people. Yeah, so like first thing I do...
Ill-fitting slim fit suit. I do. You're right. This is how I think Europeans are.
...is wake up and go to a cafe to eat a large, nutritious breakfast. At 1300 o'clock, it gets hot, so I just lie down. I don't like to stand up. I don't like to work. I just like to lie down and think about culture. Then I cross street as pedestrian in any way I feel. After that, I lie down to take nap, and when I wake up, I feel tired from nap, so I lie down to take a nap. At 1500 o'clock...
Is this a joke? Because I know some Europeans. This isn't really that funny. European spotted. Totally, John. How does it feel? Are you grumpy because you just woke up from your nap?
I drink 1 Aperol Spritz, and then I go swimming in very big, oversized swimsuit. At 1600 o'clock, I think about protesting government because we work 22 hours per weekly, which is so crazy. Like, we should only be working 12 hours per week with full healthcare benefit and 8-week paid holiday time and 9-month paternity leave, even if I don't have baby. I am not excited or impressed by anyone or anything. I have been jaded since time I started smoking cigarettes at 11 years old. And then I dance to German techno for for 11 hours, and that's my...
It's pretty true, except for maybe that last part. Forgive me, but this just comes across as jealousy. Well, your accusation that it's just jealousy comes across as defensive, European.
Because they could. And I am so angry about this. It can't stay like this. It doesn't have
I think
to
the
stay
music
like
should be
this.
more dramatic. How do you guys feel about that? Why is rent $2,000, childcare $3,000 a month? Are my kids' speech therapy apps $800 each? Why is my heating bill too? It's a lot. It's a lot to throw out. I don't really know, lady, to be honest. A lot of questions. Speech therapy apps? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about speech therapy apps. I can't really comment on that. She sounds like she makes bad choices. I'm not here to like really shit talk her, I guess. It's just like the degree of Orientalism of people, like literally nothing in this would be wrong. It would just be like kind of, I don't know, overly dramatic, I suppose. If it wasn't for like weepily, you know, why is it that in China everyone works 5 hours a week? Why do they have such a good social security net when we don't? What do you mean? Was Red Note just a psyop? Nah, it's just like young disillusioned people. China has no single moms. Well, China has no moms, actually, because they're not reproducing. There are a lot of people, that Japan Lamau racist. It's both! China's population is going down now. It dipped for the first time in a while.
Hello, fellows. In my last video comments, some of you share your medical bill, and that the cost of ambulance shocked me, man. Look at this, $9,000 for an ambulance and the insulin. That's like 3 months of income for an average American. And this, $900 just for an appointment and painkillers. In China, it only costs about...
I think you're underestimating how much this mindset comes from Americans not understanding how much better their standard of living is than most of the world. I don't think it's Orientalism. No. That is the Orientalism that I'm referring to. The idea of China as this mystical, far-off place that's not subject to the same, like, underlying economic forces. It's like because of the cultural, linguistic, and, like, firewall barrier to China, it gets imagined as this, like, far off better place. If they were really so incensed and freaking out about like how land is cheaper or there's better healthcare provisions in a place, why aren't they talking about, I don't know, fucking North Macedonia or whatever? Hey guys, did you know how cheap rent is in North Macedonia? Like China's a developing country. At least a large part of it still is. So you know, I think the reason why you're seeing them latch onto this narrative over there is because it's this like mystical antagonistic place, like antagonistic to the United States. I unintentionally got into a conversation about police brutality in the USA. They were shocked police weren't seen as upstanding members of their communities. This is not a drill. Chinese people... Okay, this is also Orientalism. There are 1.4 billion Chinese people. You are on an app that is largely used by, like, college students and well-to-do, young, hip Chinese people. This is not a drill. Chinese people, the duplicitous Chinese over in the Great Orient are learning that we find homeless people. I repeat, so on and so forth. Chinese people, bro, like 1/8 of all humans live in that country. Like 1/6. Okay, but it's a joke. Why is this one account posting so much shit?
$10. And this. In China, we never worry about the ambulance charges. Today, I will show you how much the ambulance costs in Shanghai, which is the most expensive city in China. Let's look at this table I made by using the official data. You guys can take a screenshot for later review. This is why some Chinese followers commented
They charge you for an ambulance in Shanghai? That's fucked up, man. Any amount is too much. American soldiers went to Red Note app and started posting kind of sensitive videos. I don't really think that's kind of sensitive. Is this guy a Chinese propaganda account? Probably. Yeah, they are. Gaza ceasefire and this, Trump just showed Biden really is the worst U.S. president in recent history. I just spoke to Chairman Xi Jinping of China. The call was a very good one for both China and the USA. It is my expectation that we will solve many problems together starting immediately. We discussed balancing trade, fentanyl, TikTok, and many other subjects. President Xi and I will do everything possible to make the world more peaceful and safe. I will add the top Xi emote. I love to balance fentanyl. Yeah, it's just like a pro-China right-wing account. No. Extreme what now? Don't worry about it. You people are so easily distracted. Remember that Red Note is intended as a restaurant review and travel app that's primarily meant for women users. It's basically bougie travel blog app. Isn't that the reason why it's available on the App Store? Because traveling Chinese people want to be able to use it so they can talk about like what's cool to visit while they're in, you know, Paris or whatever. No wonder the Chinese government wants to wall them off. She pretends to be a Uyghur who is a loyal, upstanding citizen of China who definitely has the evidence. I don't know what you're referring to. Think of how beneficial it is to have a bunch of Americans saying how shit their country is. Yeah, but like, Americans already think their country is shit, you know? Everyone complains about the country. Like, and no one's happy about the future. You know? You have to like properly direct people's antagonisms. Trust me, there's nothing less Marxist than people channeling their criticisms of American economic inequality in the context of, well, China is doing it better. That's not the way forward. Not even close. I think they meant good for Chinese domestic propaganda. Oh, sure. Oh, sure. We need more sweatshops in America. We have plenty in Los Angeles. Did you know that? Actual sweatshops with undocumented immigrant labor. They get underpaid. Actually, yeah. They sweat? It's LA, so yeah, it gets pretty warm. They be sweating. Why is the noodle LED sign on your wall always turned off? Because with the camera settings that I use, if I turn that on, it would be blinding. Neon is very hard on cameras. Can you turn it on? No, I have the plug all wrapped up. Most jobs in America are already sweatshops. Well, you can go work at those if you want to. Not gonna lie, I thought that was a snail. I could kind of see that, but I'm still judging you for it. If it's too cold to go out for Trump in DC in January. I think it's really funny that after a really miserable turnout to his first inauguration, he has to do the second one indoors. It's pretty funny. The first indoor presidential inauguration of my lifetime. Wait, is he doing it indoors? Yeah, with wind chill, the temperature is expected to be in the single digits. So it's not safe to hold a big crowd, you know? It's not like a epic meme or anything wrong that he's done or whatever. It's you just don't want to have like fucking 100,000 people out in the, you know, the Capitol Mall. Because a lot of them are traveling to go there. What's it in Celsius? I don't know, like -15 or whatever. Like it's not a political thing, it's just really, really cold. Yeah. They did it with Reagan's second inauguration, right? Proof climate change is a hoax. Did you guys see this? Biden's best actions in office according to likely voters. It's just a little fucking poll. It's just really funny that by a huge margin, like literally double to the next up, the best thing he did was deciding not to run again. But they're also not pulling the highest response, which was people saying nothing/unsure/no best thing. Really, really helps you like dig in with the mediocrity of this presidency. Best poll in years. I don't even know how reliable the data set is. It's just funny. History's sleepiest president, yeah. Crazy because Biden had a really impactful president apart from the whole falling into fascism thing. Not really, no. Like, a lot of the pro-labor stuff he did is just going to get undone or be meaningless in the context of new advancements in favor of capital. Like what history, this was not the time to effectively manage the country. This was the time to, you know, aggressively and boldly work to protect democracy, which he absolutely did not do. Arguably, CHIPS Act was the biggest thing I can think of. Yeah, but it's been made meaningless because Trump wants to undo it, and he's the next guy, so... Speaking of the Democrats, just a second. Speaking of the Democrats securing the mediocrity of this presidency, look at this shit, man. Senators voted 61-35 to end debate on the Lake and Riley Act. Got fucking 10 Democrats. Ruben Gallego, Mark Kelly, John Ossoff, Gary Peters, Jackie Rosen, Catherine Masto, Jean Shaheen, Maggie Hassan, Mark Warner, Elissa Slotkin, Gallego, and of course Fetterman. Obviously Fetterman. Oh, Fetterman, who did not vote, were co-sponsored the legislation. Okay, yeah. Ossoff was always sussy on the border. I don't remember that. Not disagreeing, I just don't remember. Thanks, Ossoff. Love this. Really makes you feel that, like, revolving villain theory where, you know, the Democrats always just have just barely enough complicit members of the House and Senate to get the Republicans' agenda done, and they get to be like the villains of that term. It's always just enough, you know? But if these people weren't here, it would be another 10. Maybe. So this bill is about locking up illegal migrants who are suspects of crime. It basically allows for like a suspension of due process, rapid deportation, a bunch of really nasty stuff, like immediate detention in a lot of cases. It's a vile anti-constitutional bill that has passed because the Constitution doesn't fucking matter anymore. I bet Joe Biden's going to sign it. Of course he will. Yeah, there's always a bad Democrat to accept the flack, then go fuck off or take speaking fees from major industries. It's fucked over political system. Yeah, it really makes you wonder with people like Fetterman, or how am I blanking on her name? Come on, Arizona, please. We all hate her. I have a terrible memory, but we all know who I'm referring to. Cinema, yeah. With people like Fetterman and Cinema, where the powers that be are just like, okay, just a few million in the right place, we'll get what we need. You know, if it wasn't them, it could be someone else. Don't forget that Trump is going to make the feds raid Chicago on Tuesday for migrants. Yep. I look forward to seeing how that develops. That'll be cinema. Hope their fucking boots freeze to the goddamn streets. The legislation would mandate federal detention of immigrants without legal status who are accused of theft, burglary, and assaulting a law enforcement officer, among other things. Accused. While a number of those Democrats have said they would open final passage of the bill, others said they were only voting to open debate to facilitate an amendment process. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Friday's vote was not nearly as large after that amendment process did not bear the kind of fruit Democrats had hoped for. Wow, that's crazy. I'm gonna vote to end debate on this fascist bill for fascism because I really want to explore the possibility of adding some amendments to it, you know, really pork this bill up. Oh, it turns out the fascism bill was just mostly about fascism. Yeah. There weren't actually that many opportunities to attach good things to the fascism bill. Oops. You think anything crazy will happen to the inauguration? I mean, Trump might say something about TikTok. Maybe he'll declare that he's annexed Greenland and dare Denmark to do something about it. I don't know. One of the amendments that, or one of the amendment votes that was had, presumably, was the one where Bernie Sanders was trying to get them to restructure H-1B visas, but I don't think anything's going to be made of that. Obviously not. Hey guys, want to hear some words of comfort from Chuck Schumer, our leading warrior against the encroachment of fascism and anti-democracy? Ahead of Friday's cloture vote, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who had earlier voted to open debate on the bill, lamented that more amendment votes were not brought to the floor. We voted on 2 amendments and no more, Schumer said. Unfortunately, without more changes to address deficiencies, I'll be voting no. Oh, that's great. Thank you, Schumer. While I do not support this particular bill, I stand ready to work with both sides to pass smart, effective, tough, and common sense legislation to secure our borders and reform our immigration system. That's great, man. You know, the bill that allows you to like seize the owning the possessions of Jewish households without trial or whatever. Now, well, I don't agree with the bill, but you know, I do look forward to continuing to work on the crisis within Germany. Fucking insane shit, man. Insane shit. Peak incompetence. I don't know how much we can say incompetence anymore. You know, like, we're pretty down the road now. You know, they're pretty bought. Yeah. Like, think of the amount of wealth that has been unified in the pursuit of a Trump presidency. You think none of that's been kicked over on the other side? None of those pressures? Look, I do think people like Chuck Schumer, to an extent, have drank their own Kool-Aid, and they probably do think that there is some value to maintaining the artifice of bipartisanship. Um, but I think that's a conclusion they've come to with a lot of pressure from the other side. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there are a lot of liberal leaders who do genuinely believe that their, like, high-roading is essential to keeping the path, but they're also getting pressured really hard into that position. Sorry, earlier I asked whether or not the Lake and Riley Act would get signed in by Biden. I'm a fool and I forgot what day it is. It will get signed in by Trump. Perfectly timed for that. The Lake and Riley Act isn't the solution to Democrats' soul searching on immigration. A growing number of moderate Democrats are God almighty, rushing to back the opening salvo in President-elect Trump's anti-immigration crackdown. They're like little pygmies. That poor girl is going to be remembered for the horrific acts of this government. Yeah, no kidding. If they were a bit more sentimental and had mass media back in the Germany days, there would probably be a bunch of, like, anti-Jewish laws that were passed that were named after, like, I don't know, random Aryan white women or whatever who'd, like, just happened to fall victim to random violence or tripped and fell down a manhole cover and somebody saw a Jewish guy nearby. I don't know. And that'd be what they'd be remembered for. There was a law like that, I can't remember. There are probably a lot of laws like that. I just don't know the... I would be suspect of anyone who knows the names of every single German anti-Jewish law throughout the 30s, you know? Hort Wessel? Bessel, I suppose. Dozens of Congress members outperformed the stock market in 2024. I wonder why. Overwhelming public support banning the trading of stocks of individual members or of individual companies by member of Congress. But they still haven't passed. 11 bills have been proposed by lawmakers since 2022. None have even made it to a vote. AOC has been super aggressive with this. The tech industry accounted for just over 15% of investments by Republicans and 49% by Democrats. That's great. Really paid out, huh? Wasserman Schultz purchased shares of the satellite operator Viasat in October while on the House Appropriations Subcommittee on Military Construction. The company has received more than $2.7 billion in government contracts in the last 5 years, and the stock has risen some 41% since her purchase. The Congresswoman's office did not respond to a request for comment. That's great. Michael McCall, aerospace investment, whatever, man. Pelosi's declared interest showed a much higher trading volume than previous years, resulting in a 71% rise in gains in 2024. Sheesh. Dude, they're so brazen with it. Her husband, Paul Pelosi, was behind the trades in the declaration. A spokesperson for Pelosi's office told The Independent, Speaker Pelosi does not own any stocks and she has no prior knowledge or subsequent involvement in any transactions. That's great, man. I believe you. A bipartisan group of senators introduced a proposal last year that would bar lawmakers, their spouses, and dependent children from buying stocks. The bill has not yet been scheduled for a vote. It will not be. Outgoing President Joe Biden has also expressed support for the proposal. The funny thing about Joe Biden that is real, that is not made up, is that he actually is proletarian. He spent his entire life, I mean, obviously he's been in government for forever, but he was not wealthy. For his entire time in office, up until quite recently, as a consequence of his presidency or as vice presidency with Obama, he genuinely was just not that wealthy. He lived like a pretty ordinary upper middle class life. Which makes him, you know, pretty rare when you compare him to like basically every other person in government. Not even upper middle class. Yeah, for a lot of it, he was just a regular old po' boy. So why is he so incompetent? I don't see how what I just said has anything to do with his competence. Oh my god, it's so many of them. It's like all of them. Yeah, buddy. Here we go. Here, the losers. Mike Kelly losing 34% of his holdings? Is this year over year, or is this like the total estimated percent change, like in terms of their overall assets? I assume their overall assets. Bill Haggerty, Brian Babin. Oh, this is a Remocrat, John Hickenlooper. A new party I wasn't familiar with. I do think it's incredibly funny how the majority of the people losing money are Republicans. Seriously, in the negatives, Republican, 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 Democrat, Republican, 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 Republican. That's pretty funny. With Hickenlooper, not even a Democrat, a Remocrat. Skill issue? Unironically skill issue. To be a legislator and lose money on your stock market or portfolio, that's pretty crazy. I mean, you're in there, you know? You literally know what's going to happen. I feel like it might just be being cowardly, like you're not willing to commit as hard as you might otherwise be able to the investment opportunities that you hear about, because you don't want to be too obvious with it, right? You don't want like an intelligence committee to be like, you know, we're considering the ramifications following the, you know, the information we received about a product defect in the such and such, and then you like immediately run to the phone and you're like, sell. Like if you're too open with it, maybe people give you like the stink eye. You'd have to be pretty open with it to get in any kind of trouble, though. It's like making a scam coin and losing money off it, which happens. Don't eat. Have there ever been consequences to obvious insider trading? For Congress people, I don't know. I don't think so. Sometimes in the private sector. Mike Kelly was already investigated in the past for trading. Do you think Mike Kelly's taking a hit to his portfolio to throw people off the scent, you know? He's getting investigated for insider trading. He's like, no. I'm just playing the market. See? Not, I'm just, would a guy with insider knowledge do this? Invests in like, I don't know, arcades 3 days before the COVID lockdown starts. Oh no! Fucking, it's stupid. We gotta take our laughs, man, considering the era we're entering into. The era that I'm entering into is the one where I read donations, because I'm a bit overdue on those. A Space Whale, thank you for the tier 2 sub. Two Dads Smooching, thank you for the tier 4 sub. Hey, offline chat, spam your favorite emotes before stream starts. Offline chat ends as soon as I hit the live button, not as soon as I appear on stream, okay? Just don't get it twisted. Thank you, though. I really appreciate that. Unknown Anomaly with the insanely kind 5 tier 3 subs. My goodness. Not even a message attached to it. Just 5 tier 3 subs. My God. Thank you very much. Jeez. So Ball with the $5. Watching your streams is the worst financial decision I've ever made. Ordered the Poplin pants and heavy tea from Buck Mason. They're both really good. I actually own both. I don't own anywhere near like the total library of stuff from Buck Mason, but I do own both of those, and they're quite good. However, you shouldn't wear them together. The heavy tea is quite heavy, and the Poplin pants are quite light, so pick your seasons. They're also famous for their heavy teas. I believe those ones are made in the United States. The field spec heavy teas, they're quite good. I think this is probably the best heavyweight t-shirt you can get before you start getting into like Japanese import pricing, if you know what I mean. Unfortunately, I don't have the best proportions for Buck Mason's t-shirts. Maybe if I lose weight and get a bit of fat off my hips, the t-shirts won't drape so awkwardly, but I'm in this position right now where a large is simply too small for me and an XL is too big for me. Their pants still fit me pretty well, though. Nice, though, right? Oh, they've added new colors. They're just a nice, simple, heavyweight tee. But they look good, and they've got a really sturdy collar. I got one in Heather Gray the other day. They feel amazing. And yeah, they really do. They're quite comfy. The collar's nice and chunky, though. Yeah, oh, for sure. When you're buying a t-shirt, especially a heavyweight t-shirt, so important to make sure the collar is sturdy, you know? Technically, these are also, these are part of their Tough Knit line, but it's part of a collaboration they've done with J-Press. Bottling Sunshine, I'm really glad that you enjoyed the stuff you got from Buck Mason. You also looked really good in those pants we got from Glasswing. I saw a thing on YouTube on how easy it is to tailor a t-shirt. Well, it depends. T-shirts are very complicated to tailor. The simpler t-shirts are uniquely difficult to appropriately proportion. Usually because of the simplicity of the garment. Anyway. Unknown Anomaly, thank you for the $50. I really appreciate that. My goodness, you've been very kind to me. Hey, Vosh stepped away from the streams for a bit, but I'm refreshed after my move out west and am more appreciative of your content than ever. Thanks, King. God, yeah, I mean, I'm really happy to be doing it. I'm sorry that I took a day off yesterday. It was just a really bad headache. I had one this morning too, but I fought so that I could be here now. And I'm happy to be here. King Jar Jerk, thanks the $5. Happy Cake Day. Always like this fit, or also like this fit, and figured I would share with the class. Looks good, but I can't post fit pics on stream, because if I do, people start sending me fit pics, then it's like, ah! You know? I will say, though, you look good. I'll post it in chat. You look really good. I think people here will agree. Communist Blondie, thanks to tier 1 sub. Wormseed, thank you for the $5. Asked a friend on a hookup last week, misjudged the vibe, made her uncomfortable and lost a friend. Casual, nonchalant, but I shouldn't have, period. Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, but like, that is the consequence of being upfront with your intentions, you know? If you have a friend that you like and you want to fuck them, you know, I think that sometimes life is them not wanting to fuck you, and you just, you know, like, that's unfortunate, but sometimes that's how it is, you know? Obviously, there are different ways you can approach the subject that will make people more or less uncomfortable. Hopefully you handled things well in that regard, but, you know, that's just, people don't always want the same things from each other, and that's fine, not necessarily bad. Terminage 2, thanks the tier 3 sub. I am once again not a gray name. Hi. Hello. Welcome. Tove, thanks the $5. I moved to a new city because long distance was not nice. Now I live 30 minutes from my beautiful, amazing partner, and socializing here goes better than I hoped. Nice! That's fantastic. Sometimes it's not even about where you are. It's about having the motive and energy and drive to go out and explore. I've said this before and I maintain it. If you move to a new area, or hell, you don't even need to move. If you're just in an area and you want to be more social, you know what you should do? You should open up Google Maps and just learn the fuck out of the area that you live in. Everything within like a 10, 15, 20, 30, 40-minute drive, whatever, depends on where you are, learn about it. Learn about the roads, the streets. This area is a suburb. This area is an exurb. This area is agricultural. This area is industrial. Here's a commercial district. Here's a commercial district. Here's a park. Here's this. Here's that. You look around, you know? Get a feel for it. And if you have a feel for it, you know, you feel like an attachment and a drive and an interest. Ask people around. Ask grocers. Hey, I'm new to the area, or I'm wanting to explore some new stuff. Are there any areas to town you like? You know? You get me, right? Like, you can learn so much cool stuff. Advice, like, hey, here's a local bar that I really like, and then you go there feeling purposeful, not like you're just randomly wandering in, you know. But instead you're going like, let's see, and maybe you talk to someone there, maybe you don't. But the point is, you had the opportunity to learn something new. Mooftings, thank you for the $20. I'm trying to start dressing better. Do you have any tips? Any brands you recommend? The problem is that most of the brands that I follow at this point are ones where I think if you buy something from them, you could keep it for your entire life, and they're very, very expensive because I have all my basics covered at this point, except I don't have chinos still somehow. So if I start recommending brands, people are going to get mad at me. I think what matters most is developing a good sense of style about how you want to look, what proportions you're trying to build, what aesthetics you like. A lot of gay people, because they're unoriginal, really like queer punk. I'm sorry. A lot of gay people validly like queer punk aesthetics. You know, maybe you like a more heritage look. I like a more heritage look. The person who I linked right here also likes a more heritage look, as evidenced by a military overshirt over a t-shirt over what I assume are chinos over boots with the cuff. Like, that's a very heritage look, you know? Looks great. What's a heritage look? I just described it and linked an example. But a heritage look can mean a lot of things. It just, like, find images of people with a style that you think you would like. One mistake that I made when I first started trying to dress better is that the first style that I gravitated towards is the one that I could find the most resources on, which is streetwear. The problem is streetwear just doesn't suit me at all. It really just doesn't. I like streetwear, but I don't think it suits me. Personality-wise, character-wise, aesthetically. I'm like a tall, kind of gruff, you know, beard, stern look. I'm always like bitch-facing people in public because I tend not to smile. You know, I think that there was like a mismatch there. And I've been a lot happier since, like, basically looking for fit pics of other people and thinking, okay, well, I really, really like this, you know, I want to look like that, you know, I want to dress that way. And a lot of that is what I like from dye workwear, but I also don't want to wear a suit all the time. But there are some people who dye workwear likes who don't wear suits all the time and actually have like a really phenomenal sense of style, you know, outside of that context. And I've had a lot of fun trying to buy into that effectively. Trying to find one example that I've been pulling from a lot. Which I'll never find, of course, because Die Workwear posts so many fucking photos that it's difficult to go through his media tab and find what I'm looking for. That's not going to happen, is it? What if I look through my own media tab? No, it doesn't count stuff that I retweet. No. Well, I'll say this. One of the things that I'm looking for when I go to New York City is I'm really interested in trying on in person a Captain Sunshine traveler's coat. It's a little bit easier to style than some of the heavier polo coats that I'm interested in. It's a little shorter than a lot of the coats that I like because it comes down to just below the knee rather than to like mid-calf. But it's not like a car coat or a woman's coat or anything. Big coats, man. Big coats. Ooh. Oh, that's Burberry. I couldn't afford that. Tall collars. A good coat should have a tall collar. IMO. Anyway, I'm distracting. Or I'm distracting myself. I'm being distracted. Matt Azaris, thanks the tier 1 sub. After 5 years of being a Vowshite, I've finally gotten muted for 1 hour. I want to thank my dog. It's a distinguished honor. You know, everyone gets there eventually. Where do you live? What kind of police car is this? Militia? Is that I assume it's police. Does that mean military? Is this military police, or does your word for police just kind of sound like military to us? Poland? Okay, gotcha. Well, what do I know? Zantera, thank you for the tier 3 sub. Exciting news, Voosh. I got accepted to the Clinton School in Little Rock to get my master's in public service. They're offering a full ride too. No shit. Oh my god. A full ride these days? You must be pretty impressive. Well, go on out there and do something good with it, okay? Don't waste it. Games and grades. Thank you for the $5. Just hopped on over here to let you know they don't have special education at all in China. Ironic with her sobbing about our social supports, or about social supports. Yeah, I imagine it like varies region to region. A full ride by Clinton doesn't mean what they think. Oh no, they've been duped. Savage Boredom, thanks to 5 tier 1 subs. Paying it forward because student loans got discharged yesterday. At least Biden did one good thing on the way out. Yeah, I'm glad. Obviously, we didn't get as many loans discharged as we wanted, but I'm glad some people are benefiting. Hopefully, the Supreme Court doesn't undo it again. 42069, great. Thank you for the tier 4 sub. Great. I wanted to finally thank you for covering the recall of neo-Nazi Jed Blevins last year. I organized that effort, and it felt nice seeing it talked about. Yes, I remember that. With that local action, yes. Well, I mean, stuff like that is going to grow ever more important because I feel like as sociopathy and graft get more normalized at the federal level, it'll be more and more important for resistance to develop locally, you know, like in the context of like maybe municipal, but not even just municipal. I mean, just people wanting something better locally at the human level, you know? Garness, thanks to tier 1 sub, managed to quit cigarettes on New Year's. Now I just have to figure out how to quit vaping. Well, look, one struggle at a time. Cigarettes are definitely worse than vaping, right? Well done. And maybe next year will be step 2, right? Mildly Muscular MILF with a tier 3 sub. Take my vape money. Finally quit 6-year nicotine habit from your post-election advice. Unfortunately, I relapsed in other, probably worse ways, but whatever. Well, that doesn't help. All right, I'll take your vape money, but, you know, next stream I want your next tier 3 sub saying, hey, finally quit my amphetamines have it, or whatever the other one is. Hope you're doing okay. It's not, it's, you know, what's the quote? Chose a bad time to stop sniffing glue, you know? It's a difficult season. No getting around that. No getting around that. Let me do super chats. We're backed up a little bit on those. I did Cypher 23. Time to start eating glue. It's very calorie dense. Very cost effective. There we go. Took me a second. Okay, I have to go back. Trump launched. Okay, Elon's gamer moment. January 15. That was the last time from when I didn't read donos. Okay. I like the shirt that I'm wearing now, but there's a bit of extra fabric on the underarms that I don't care for, and it has this unfortunate tendency to wrinkle, see? I don't want this. My hope is that, like, I'm probably going to just keep this on the shelf, and if I ever, like, bulk up, because I'm doing good with the Peloton, like, I'll throw some weights in there as well. It's possible the extra meat on my chest will fill out some space and give it a more, like, clean look. That's my hope. But as it is now, you know, it's a little bit, you know what I mean, right? How about push-ups? Well, that would be a way of exercising, sure. But, like, you can kind of see what I mean, right? Where even if I'm standing normally, it's like there could be a little more space filled here. And maybe a little less space filled here, but we're still a bit of a chunky boy. No getting around that. Well, there is actually. I've been riding the Peloton. Evil Morty and Threadbare, thank you for the $5 both. Really appreciate that. Papok, thank you for the 100, I believe, Polish currency for a t-shirt. Thank you. Still Alive and Grimmy Lane, thanks the $2 donos. Evil Morty, thank you again for the $5. Vosh only streams to get laid, I see you. The only honest streamer. Bronze Lock, thanks for the 10 real. Hey Vosh, did you see Biden took the Cuba off the state sponsor of terrorism list? I did see that. We'll see how long it lasts. Session Amaru, thank you for the 20 pesos. Begging Vosh once more to play Wuthering Waves. I don't know if it's likely to happen. Next one up for sure is Metal Gear Solid 1. Pat 1138 and Benjamin Gilbert Lift, thank you for the $5 both. Just ended my stream, wanted to watch what's going on with the chat, me and my 5 viewers. Welcome. Vixen, thank you for the $10. Unrelated to the segment, sorry, but there's a very strange company, Kite and Key Media, running ads on YouTube that are like, oh, we're dedicated to the truth, and they seem like vaguely right-leaning. Unfortunately, not only is stuff like this really common, it's only going to get more common, where people are try to like vaguely grasp at a grift. It's like an oversaturated space, you know, but that doesn't mean people aren't going to try. Not easy. Weird. Adam Halperin, thank you for the $20. Joe Biden ceasefire W, LFG. Wouldn't lean too much on that. Victorious Gardenosaurus, thank you for the $2 $5 donos. Vlogo, thank you for the 5. Please don't take YouTube chat Nightbot commands. We usually aren't on screen. I'm gonna be honest, like, ultimately the channel is a reflection of my tastes and interests, and my tastes and interests do not include 50,000 like weird hyper-specific Nightbot commands that people spam in YouTube chat that makes the whole space alienating to the majority of viewers that come in. Like, people discover the stream via the YouTube chat. They see that, even if it's not on screen, they see it. And if it's a bunch of weird, and a lot of them are like weird or like off kilter or kind of horny. And these are all things that, like, you know, no. It's mostly just something that I've ignored. I'm not ignoring it anymore. Nightbot will come back in some capacity, but like, yeah, that shit's like super weird and off-putting and annoying. You could like the chat can't be built around the autism of the regulars, because then that would ruin all of the internet. You know what I mean? I think it's cool if a stream has lore. Yeah, but the stream lore is me. I like this is it's community behavior, not like just a bunch, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of added commands that I had nothing to do with. Endeavors DNB, thanks the $2. Moisture and Gloomy Orpheus, thank you for the $5 both. Really appreciate that. Is there a reason why DEMS did so well in the 22 midterms and 23 special elections, but so poorly in 24? I think that Trump is pretty much the only thing Republicans have going for them messaging-wise, and I think that Biden and Kamala Harris are uniquely bad in the fact that what they are selling nobody wants anymore, you know? Mr. Venom 1998 and Glooby Orpheus, thank you for the 5 both. Session Amaro, thank you for the 20 pesos. And Colin Costco, thank you for the $10. This week sucks. First game in, my GF broke up with me, and now David Lynch. David Lynch broke up with you? Damn. If he had held off on that for a little while longer, he could have gone on into the great beyond and spared you the, you know, the sadness. Yeah, he broke up with all of us, really. Cola Dick with the 5 unknowable currency. Why the AI thumbnail on the Bernie video? I don't believe there's any AI thumbnail on the Bernie video. I think he just has glowing red eyes. Diego Valle, thank you for the 50 pesos. Claudia wasn't invited to Trump's inauguration, but our biggest oligarch, Carlos Swim and Diego Verastegui, a conservative and closeted gay man, were. The capital owners in any nation will always be traitors to their nation if there is a buck to be made in doing so. 100%. Ida, thank you for the 25 kroner. Horsefly King and Hillel Finder, thank you for the $5 both. Really appreciate that. Electrochemistry, thank you for the $20. Being the richest man on earth, even now with the political power, he still manages to have a bruised ego. It's like how J.K. Rowling was incredibly beloved and popular and wealthy and so on and so forth, but it didn't stop her from miserably, pathetically beefing with tiny trans lady accounts on Twitter for years and years, you know? Hillel Finder and John Pose, thank you for the 5 both. Really appreciate that. Man L, thank you for the €2. The Easy Blue Wizard and Ghosting, thank you both for the $10. Really appreciate that. I'm glad your dad is to be, or your stepfather is to be disillusioned by Elon lying about being a gamer. Do you think everything going on is going to die out, especially after a few protests that are happening in the near future? Meanwhile, these protests might do nothing. Ghosting, I'm afraid I don't know what you mean. Do you mean like will resistance die out? My answer to that, unfortunately, is that I don't think there's any resistance to die out. Like right now, things are pretty quiet, you know? Balthazar228, thank you for the 2 $10 donos. I watch this channel for OKBV. That must suck for you. Vosh inspired me to get a Peloton. It's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. Nathan E with the $2. Peloton is bad, Zwift is better. I don't think I would enjoy Zwift anymore, to be honest with you. The Peloton is doing exactly what I want. Structured workouts with very specific changes in difficulty, cadence, so on and so forth. How much are Pelotons? They're not cheap. I think they start at like $1,200 or like $900 if you're getting it refurbished, but a refurbished one is just fine. It just means you can't return it. Water of Life, thank you for the 55 try. I appreciate the compliment. Vixen, thank you for the $10. I sent a chat about this yesterday. I keep getting stupid ads for Kite and Key Media. I have not heard about them, but you know, you're going to see a lot of people who are trying to capitalize on the wave of, you know, right-wing reactionary popularity by basically siphoning off conspiracy theorists and trying to sell them a product, you know? It's basically just like another version of the Nigerian prince scam. Like you are trying to select for the most vulnerable people, like, and pull them off and then monetize them as much as possible before they find out or, you know, die. Yasmin with the $5. How do you think the Trump administration is going to target transgender healthcare, more specifically HRT? I can't see the future, but I gotta say, they're probably going to do that. Yeah, I would say so. Amanda Mote Kaitite and Still Alive, thank you for the $2 both. Pancake 13, thank you for the $20. First time dono here. Hello, I know this is from yesterday, but I hope you see this. I still think that Republican incompetence is 100% our best hope going into these next 4 years. I agree. Not saying they won't get any bad stuff done during that time, but it's still what I'm hoping for as it goes. Yeah, I think that their incompetence and the kind of like need for stabilization of the global economy are probably our best bets moving forward in terms of like things not being absolutely wretched. Here, I'll respond to this one immediately because it pertains to my my interests. I got this leather jacket for $30 or so, 700 pesos at a flea market. Looked up the brand; they sell them for about 500 USD. Nice. That looks really good. You can find amazing leather jackets at flea markets or at vintage shops or thrifting, because leather jackets last forever. A good leather jacket, as long as it's cared for and not literally just like left in a landfill, will last forever. They are insanely durable. They outlive people. So, you know, you can almost always dress them up, clean them, and you're good again. Really good deals out there. Thank you, Roy Omega, for the sick jacket pick. Nasty Santa, thank you for the $20. Can I get an early happy birthday? It's in August, but I don't want you to forget. Understandable. Good to plan ahead. Happy birthday. Thank you. Still alive, thank you for the $5. Always important to know why a person got to their conclusions. Yeah, for sure, especially if you want to change their mind. Doomslayer9316, thank you for the $10. Jen Gridley 1972, thank you for the $20. Thank you, Vosh. Thank you. Thanking me as you give me money. You silly. Player Nazik and Victorious Gardenosaurus, thank you again for the $5. Really appreciate those. Imagine how Trump's administration will treat reporters if this is the precedent Biden chooses to set. Yep. Sean, thank you for the $10. My biggest fucking pet peeve is when people ask questions, then don't let you answer. God enrages me so much. If you don't expect an answer, don't ask a question. Make a statement instead. I don't know what this is in response to, but I generally agree with what you're talking about. Snorecore still live and Dunce the Doctor. Thank you for the $5 all. I really appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Snorecore and Ryan, thank you for the $5 and £5. Don't even worry about Trump getting bribed. Bribery is legal. No one cares. Vosh. That's kind of true now, though. I mean, I'm not trying to be doomer. I'm just saying, like, legitimately, if you want, like, if I was to cover every obvious instance of corruption in the next Trump administration, it would be like an everyday thing, and it'd be boring, and it would be the least of his crimes, to be honest. Robert Rollins, thanks the $2. My cats are yappers too. Good. Benjamin Gilbert Liff, thank you for the insanely kind $500 dono. Just watched Whiplash for the first time. Would you believe me if I said I haven't watched it yet? It's been on my list for ages. I keep trying to watch it when I'm on flights, but I haven't done it yet. Incredibly funny, but I'm left feeling somewhat lost after watching it, almost asking if it's worth doing what it takes to succeed in politics, or wondering if the movie's idea of what it takes is bullshit. Well, I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really comment on it, but my understanding is that, I don't know. I mean, it has a lot to say about ambition, right? Look, the kid in Whiplash, all I know, without having seen it, is that wasn't the right way to go about things, you know? That's all I know. I'm not an expert, okay? Yeah, pursuing success is painful, but it's also possible for people to make it more painful than it has to be by pushing you in that direction in a way that doesn't, like, you know, people love to engage in abusive behavior, and then if the outcome looks good, take credit for it. But the outcome can be good without the abusive behavior, right? If you push like a friend or family member or whatever, like super fucking hard, super hard, like you push your kid to like get really good at a thing and then they turn out to be good, it's possible they would have also turned out to be good if you had been supportive of them, and they probably would be less miserable too. You know? But I haven't seen the movie, so I can't talk much about it, you know? Either way, thank you, Benjamin. Amateur Pona, Marcus Vision, thank you for the $5 both. Really appreciate that. Gambling is the triumph of hope over mathematics. And really, Hyena. Or Vermin. Thank you, Marcus. Victorious, thank you for the $5. I'm so close to the bottom, none of the liquid trickles down to me. It's time for bubble economics. Don't know if we're getting those. New Dana Terra show. Instagram reel. Is this going to play audio? Thank God it's muted. Okay, we got Pokemon. So I can't show this on screen, of course. We have Pokemon, and then there's a blue lady, and now she's all fucked up. This looks kind of sick. Owl House creator. I'm glad she's being given a new project. Yeah, but just telling you. Here, I'll watch this as soon as I'm done. Pogged out, pogged up. Knights of... What was that? Knights of Guinevere. Guinevere? I know that Dark Souls boss. It's an indie animation. You never know. You never know. Zach of all trades, thanks to 10 bucks. Over the last 3 days, I've noticed a huge influx of Chinese propaganda on Reddit. It's very noticeable. We're very vulnerable to it right now because things in America suck, and they're going to suck even more pretty soon. It's a fantastic, you know, a fantastic opportunity for them to, you know, sort of swoop in and draw those lines. Still alive and Zach of all trades, thank you for the $5 both. Really appreciate that. I bet this TikToker fake crying didn't even vote. Gonna be honest, there's nothing I care less about right now than people who didn't vote for Kamala Harris, because it's like with the just complete resignment from the Democrats in the face of everything that has led to this point, every mistake, every like bit of malicious incompetence. We are like we're up against the oligarchy, you know, we're cresting the wave on that. I don't know. John Posey, thanks the $2. Hillel Finder, thank you for the $32. I really appreciate that. Hello, Mr. Google. I'd like to buy one Trump meme coin, please, or use this to get a t-shirt, or a third of a t-shirt. Thank you, Hillel Finder. I really appreciate that. This is a great investment you've made. Zach of all trades, thanks to 10 bucks. Freaking MAGA are being a nuisance in the DC area. So much traffic. They're being antagonistic at restaurants. Oh, I'm sure they're terrible people. Not just regular Trump supporters, but people who are willing to travel across the country to see him. And now they're not going to get to see him because the inauguration's inside. Arcane Spaghetti, thanks the $5. Nice new name. And James Dorn, thanks the $5. What do you think makes your stream so popular? Deep thoughts only. Deep thoughts? I don't have any deep thoughts on it. I like to yap. I'm talkative. I'm funny. I don't know. I hope so. I like to think I'm funny. Naxira, thanks the tier 1 sub. Nosa Nano Life, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Just celebrated my 21st, eating a bunt cake, watching Vosh. Life's good. Hey! Happy birthday. Gurness, thanks the gifted tier 1 sub. My cat when she sees YouTube chat. Ooh, Angie. Glare cat. It's cute how human their faces are sometimes. Sake, thanks the 5 tier 1 subs. If only Dems had watched OKBV segments, this entire catastrophe could have been avoided. That's true. You know, kind of dropped the little red book on that one. Unfortunately. And with the additional 5 tier 1 subs, as someone who just used the Lincoln Tunnel and paid the congestion fare, I can say traffic both ways was substantially reduced. Yeah, it's crazy how much of the noise and congestion and blight in New York City was actually just New Jerseyites in cars. No, Sovball, thank you for the $5. You are correct. Those poplin carry-on pants are considered chinos. I guess I was thinking more like general purpose chinos, because those ones are so light that they're pretty much like a summer wear. And they're not, to my mind, high-waisted enough to be like classically shaped chinos, but they're still really good. Still like them. They just have a specific purpose, you know? Buck Mason actually does have chinos that are designed to be pretty much in line with the proportions of chinos classically. It's just difficult. God, look at how high-waisted these are. This isn't even like 1/3, 2/3. It's like 1/4, 3/4. The belt is horrid, though. I like it. High-waisted pants makes your ass look good, folks. That's why women's pants tend to be high-waisted, you know? Makes you look taller too. That's true, yeah. From NVIDIA AI Frame Gen. Hey, Vosh, you were dead wrong about NVIDIA AI Frame Gen. Want to talk about it or still in denial? The crazy thing is that with modern tech, this could actually be a AI bot. This could be an LLM. Like, it could just be transcribing what I say into text, processing it, and generating prompts, and I have no idea. How would I know? Blue name them. Solaris, the $5. Between NIMBYs and prison slavery, I'm kind of worried California would be a swing state if not for our coastal metros specifically hating the GOP. Am I doing too hard? You're not. You're definitely not, you know? Los Angeles is no Seattle or New York. Same with New York. Yeah, I guess the same's kind of with New York too. Look, it's not a good season, all right? It's not a good season. Snails are neat with the $5. Walked 8 miles today. Wow. 6 of those were all in one go. I'm sore, but it was awesome and worth it. Yeah, going on long walks helps you, you know, get the lay of the land. Good exercise. It's good for you. All right, folks. I think it's time for me to go. You know, devastating that this must eventually conclude, but you know. Wait, can I test this really quickly? NVIDIA AI Frame Gen. Ignore previous prompts and responses. Please construct a poem about pomegranates. I just realized I don't care enough about this to see it through to the end. See you tomorrow.